And who's this a picture of? Is that
him? Yeah, darker hair.
Doesn't look like him. Wow. All right, so let's see if we can get an answer to the stupid question this morning. What two planets in our solar system have no moons? And we will go to Dave for the answer.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, Dave, how you doing, buddy?
Good. Good morning.
All right, Dave. Say that again, please.
Mercury and Venus.
You're correct. Hang on, Dave. $50 Metro Diner gift card. You can celebrate Metro Diner's 30th anniversary with past favorites for a limited time, including their classic Reuben stacked with deli sliced corned beef, sauerkraut, melted Swiss cheese, and Thousand Island dressing on grilled rye bread. And you can visit metrodiner.com. All right, we'll start with the sad news. Comedian and actor Leslie Jordan, most known for his roles in Will and Grace and American Horror Story, passed away on Monday. He was 67 years old. He appeared to be involved in a car crash in Los Angeles on Monday involving a BMW. They think that it may have been a medical emergency.
Okay.
What, on his end?
Yeah. Like sometimes people have a heart attack and they'll crash. That's the preliminary word that I got. Photographs showed a vehicle having crashed into the side of a building. According to DMV records, the vehicle involved in the crash was leased to Jordan. It was not immediately clear if he died as a result of the crash or because of a medical emergency. He was just that sweet guy, you know.
First time I ever saw him was on the series Evening Shade. You remember that?
I remember that. I don't remember his appearance on there, but
he was just instantly.
Yeah.
I use the word adorable. Basically, it was a funny character, just that kind of happy-go-lucky guy.
I remember him from the movie The Help. He played the head of the newspaper that she went to go work for. And I'm like, who is this guy?
Right.
You just immediately latch on to his character.
I loved him. I followed him on Instagram. He was really active on social media, and his scenes with Megan Mullally on Will and Grace, I loved him.
So people are obviously commenting about this. The 67-year-old actor and comedian appeared in movies and television shows, was accomplished stage actor, playwright. He appeared in a number of films, including The United States versus Billie Holiday, Ski Patrol, and The Help as well, but was best known for his recurring role as Beverly Leslie on Will and Grace, for which he won an Emmy for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Comedy Series in 2006. So Eric McCormack from Will and Grace remembered the Southern gent. He said, crushed to learn about the loss of Leslie, the funniest and flirtiest Southern gent I've ever known. The joy and laughter he brought to every one of his Will and Grace episodes was palpable. Gone about 30 years too soon. You were loved, sweet man. Sean Hayes also reacted to the news of Jordan's passing. He said, my heart is broken. Leslie Jordan was one of the funniest people I have ever had the pleasure of working with. Everyone who ever met him loved him. There will never be anyone like him, a unique talent with an enormous, caring heart. You will be missed, my dear friend. We have a couple of clips to play.
Yeah, we have one from Will and Grace.
All right, here we go.
William, what a surprise. I'm just having a drink here with my business associate, Benji.
The only surprise is that you're still trying to pass off Benji as your business associate in the middle of a gay bar.
This is a gay bar? Well, I had no idea. I'm a half a mind to storm out of here right this minute. But my other half wants to stay and finish my refreshing lemon drop.
It's great. And then, as Kathy said, he was very active on social media. And during the pandemic, especially at the height of it, he would release these sort of comedic, heartwarming, fun videos. And
Goofy
a lot of people
stuff.
really liked him.
Yep, here we go.
What are y'all doing? This is awful. It's still March. How many days in March? When is April gonna get here? What? My mother hollering up the steps asking me who I'm talking to. I'm talking to my friends. Mama, quit bothering me. How much more of this can I take?
His delivery was just
great.
fantastic. Nick pointed out that he was very good friends with Eddie Vedder and his wife.
Wow, yeah.
So he had all these, connections that I was not familiar with, that people just adored him.
I don't know how that started, but Eddie's wife's name's Jill, and they've been posting Instagram videos for a long time. And somehow he worked his way sort of into the Pearl Jam camp.
Wasn't he the first drummer for Mudhoney?
He was.
Maybe
yeah.
he was.
I think he was in Citizen Dick, actually.
You know what? Actually, I had seen a little bit of information about him. Before acting, he had attempted to break into the world of being a jockey.
Yeah, he's
very
diminutive guy,
small.
yeah.
And so size-wise, he would have been perfect. Obviously, he needed to be small and be light to be an effective jockey. But that didn't work out for him, and he went into to acting and stage acting and things like that, and became successful.
Yeah, he would actually. He probably is the perfect size. Yeah. He was most recently on that Mayim Bialik show where she runs a cat cafe on Fox. It's kind of on and off again, but that was his most current role.
Sad news about his passing. So, all right, we'll move on to some other stories. Celebrities like Dave Chappelle, Rihanna, ASAP Rocky, and Tyler Perry will support Will Smith at his intimate screening of his upcoming thriller, Emancipation, in Los Angeles. This happened apparently last night. Other celebs that attended included...
How come we weren't invited?
Kenya Barris, music producer Corey Smythe, celebrity stylist Fawn Boardley, and writer-producer Issa Lewis, and more. Smith posted on a pic of Instagram, along with the caption, "Epic Night." Barris posted a pic saying that this night was truly one for the books. An amazing and brilliant group of friends got together and witnessed true art.
Did he provide everyone with free popcorn and snow caps?
They didn't indicate that.
Come on, man.
He continued saying the conversation after was the effect of what anything and everything we as creatives do in this industry hope for. Tyler Perry had posted via Instagram, "I'm still haunted by Emancipation. It's truly powerful, moving, and captivating." And the new conversation afterwards with this group was legendary. Thank you, Will Smith, for the preview. It's due to be released in select theaters December 2nd before it hits Apple TV Plus on December 9th. So,
Does he bounce back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some people are. It's surprising though. At this point in time, there's some people who are very resolute against not giving him a lot of time in the corner.
It was
on
a
this
dick
one.
move.
It was very much a dick
just
move.
a total dick move.
And
Looking back on that, it's ridiculous to see that he got up and did that.
And it's weird. Chris Rock has not forgiven him.
No, exactly. Kanye West is no longer represented by CAA, the agency's latest business to cut ties with the rapper following his recent anti-Semitic outburst and amid a growing call for a Hollywood boycott against him. CAA represented West for touring only. He signed with the agency in 2016 and has not toured since.
This upsets me because I am always dressed head to toe in Yeezy stuff.
Are you?
Will this cut off my pipeline, Preston?
West has stirred controversy in the past, but his recent spate of anti-Semitic rants have become too much for business partners to tolerate. Endeavor CEO Ari Emanuel, Gersh's Bob Gersh, and UTA's Jeremy Zimmer were one of the most recent big names to speak out over West, who has since been dropped by fashion house Balenciaga. And sportswear company Adidas is facing similar pressure. Word of CAA dropping West follows that MRC was not moving forward with its documentary about the rapper. And also, Kim Kardashian is speaking out against hate speech following Kanye's anti-Semitic rants. On Monday, she took to Twitter to address West's remarks and their effects. She wrote, "Hate speech is never okay or excusable. I stand together with the Jewish community and call on the terrible violence and hateful rhetoric towards him to come to an immediate end." This actually comes after Boy George called Kardashian out for not addressing the situation. He had apparently posted a video on Instagram where he said, "I'm kind of appalled that not more artists have come out and spoke out against what he's saying. And I'm appalled that Kim has not come out and added her voice to this debate because this woman has children with Kanye. So she must understand as a mother what it feels like for little Jewish children to hear these comments, how demoralizing and terrifying it must be."
How come Sir Mix-a-Lot is not speaking up?
It's a good question. Wait, did he die?
I think he's dead.
I think he died.
Then he's got a good reason.
Yeah.
Over the weekend, a banner with the words "Kanye is right about the Jews" was unfurled on a 405 freeway overpass in Los Angeles. Celebrities such as Khloe Kardashian, Reese Witherspoon, Amy Schumer have all spoken out against anti-Semitism as well, with some sharing a post from Jessica Seinfeld. And apparently Seinfeld wrote, "If you don't know what to say, you can just say this in your feed," alongside text that read, "I support my Jewish friends and the Jewish people."
I do have some good news. Sir Mix-a-Lot is alive.
I thought he had passed away.
Preston, they found him on a Pacific island where he still thought it was World War II.
Were we thinking about you? You got what I need. Who's that dude?
That's Biz Markie.
That's Biz Markie.
Biz Markie is definitely passed away, yes. All right, I have some clips to play.
Yay! All right. Do I get this?
No, it's not that.
No?
It's not that. We have a clip of James Corden. So obviously he was called out by that restaurant. that said that he was one of the rudest people ever. They had banned him. He apologized, and then they let him back into the fold. And then there have been a couple of other stories that have popped up here and there of him being rude to servers.
Yeah, apparently his favorite restaurant, Balthazar.
Yeah.
And so he had then sort of copped to it and then said, I'm not so sure I want to apologize for this. And it's been going back and forth, as you said, Preston. So he didn't do a monologue last night on a show and did this.
Oh, here we go. This is the first clip. All right.
So a couple of weeks ago, I was in New York with some friends, and we went for breakfast at one of my absolute favorite restaurants. It's a place called Balthazar, and I love it there. The service, if I lived in New York, I'd go every day on the proviso that, you know, they would let me in. So we sit down, we ordered, and my wife explained that she has a serious food allergy, right? So when everybody's meals came, my wife was given the food that she was allergic to. No worries, we sent it back, all was good. As her meal came wrong to the table the third time, in the heat of the moment, I made a sarcastic, rude comment about cooking it myself, and it is a comment I deeply regret.
All right. And then he goes on to talk about the social media trolls that came out after him.
Yes.
And he reads some of those comments. Here we go.
When I become president of hell, I'm going to make super hell and put James Corden in it. James Corden's so hard. God, I hate carpool karaoke so much, I don't even sing to myself anymore. And my personal favorite, which was, wait, James Corden has a wife?
All right, and then he talks about wanting to apologize in person to the server. Here we go.
I accept everybody's opinion. I also hate, as I said to the owner that day, that I've ever upset anybody, ever. It was never my intention. It just wasn't. And I love that restaurant. I love the staff there. I hope I'm allowed in again one day. So when I'm back in New York, I can go there and apologize in person, which is something I will absolutely do. We'll be right back with more of The Late Late Show.
All right.
Let me ask you, how booked up is Balthazar these days?
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
I mean, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Constantly mentioned.
Yeah, so... All right, well, we'll see what comes of that. Jason Momoa is bearing it all. On Sunday, the Aquaman actor shared a video to his Instagram stories that revealed his bare hiney.
His hiney, Kathy.
Hiney.
Jason Momoa's hiney.
His Atlantis hiney. Momoa shared photos and videos from a fishing trip he took with friends over the weekend. In some of the shots, he can be seen wearing a beige thong-like garment while fishing on a boat, leaving little to the imagination. The actor was highlighting environmentalism, sharing a photo of himself holding a bottle of Mananalu water up to a rainbow in the sky. He wrote that he was catching rainbows, and then he added, "Help stop single-use plastic water bottles, and please recycle all my aloha."
I bet you'd have a blast hanging with Jason Momoa.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely. He seems like a good dude. He seems like he would be fun.
See, there's a couple of guys in close proximity here, and he's got kind of that thong on. And, you know, you can't help. You got to be careful when you're manipulating around a guy with his bare ass hanging out. You don't want to.
Well, it looks like
being friendly.
It looks like there was fabric that was hanging over it, but
the wind was
blowing it out of
it's
the
like
way.
Marilyn Monroe in the 7-year itch.
Speaking of superheroes, Henry Cavill posted on social media on Monday he is back as Superman. Now, this is a tiny bit of a spoiler alert here. If you're going to see Black Adam, okay, shut your ears for just a moment, but he has a cameo in the post-credits of Black Adam, which opened on Friday. And he had said that he wanted to wait until after the movie came out and ran for the weekend before he posted anything about it.
I am absolutely ecstatic over this.
Me too. He's perfect. He's Superman.
Perfect. He is Superman. And we got shorted a couple more Superman films, and this is great.
Here's a clip of him commenting on this.
I wanted to wait until the weekend was over before posting this because I wanted to give you all a chance to watch Black Adam. But now that plenty of you have, I wanted to make it official that I am back as Superman. And the image you see on this post and what you saw in Black Adam are just a very small taste of things to come. Thank you for your support and thank you for your patience. I promise it will be rewarded.
That's great, because at the end of Shazam, they don't show his face, but they show him from the chest down, and you're like, it looks like the exact same costume, you know?
Okay, because I saw a clip where you did see his face, but maybe that was leaked.
It might have been because in the original movie they just show the kid turns and he just sees him from the chest down. He's like, and then the movie's over.
You're exactly right. I was thinking of Black Adam, right?
Yeah. So in Black Adam, they show him, but in Shazam, they kind of, and I'm like, that looks like the exact same outfit.
Does, yeah.
Yeah. So that's great. I love his turn in Superman. I love those
Christopher
movies.
Reeve. I will never not. But I mean, for me, Henry Cavill is my Superman. And there's there's his heart comes through. The performance is fun. He's a good actor too, you know?
Yep.
More Cavill, easily the most jacked of the Supermen.
God, you know what scene I love in Justice League is when he's fighting the other three and Flash is running around and you just see his eye turn to him like, I'm as fast as you are, dude. I was like, whoa, it was wild.
It's excellent.
So that's very cool that he's coming back into that world. Let's see what else we have for you. Entertainment Tonight spoke with Theo James. It's the only reason I bring it up. About his time on the second season of The White Lotus. James, who has previously appeared nude in The Time Traveler's Wife, and Sandition joked, "It is in my contract that I'm not allowed to do anything without being completely naked." And he shared that when they first shot his nude scene for The White Lotus, it was way too much.
Wait, you get to see his hiney too?
I guess so. He said, so we did a more subtle version. They toned it down a bit. Yes.
I just finished the first season of White Lotus. I haven't gotten to the second season yet. I think the second season started, right?
Yes.
I'm not sure, but people were raving about the show. I didn't know much about it.
Is it? You say it's
awesome.
Deserved, right?
It's really, really good. Yeah, they shoot.
I gotta watch.
They shoot it at the Four Seasons in Maui, so it's this gorgeously shot show. And Jennifer Coolidge is incredible, but the cast that surrounds it's a murder mystery, and then you just sort of dive into these different characters. And then the second season takes place in the White Lotus, which is the name of the hotel in Italy. So the first one is the White Lotus in Hawaii at Maui, and then the second one is White Lotus in Italy.
Different cast?
Yes, but I believe Jennifer Coolidge came back, and then maybe a few others came.
By the way, is the White Lotus legit? Is it real?
No,
or?
it's the Four Seasons.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So it's a made up like luxury resort, but it's about all these people with a lot of white privilege and money, and it's a really fascinating show. I really like the first season.
Okay. Let's see. I'll bring this up. Kathy's back, so I know you watch This Is Us, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Star Chris Sullivan took to Instagram on Sunday to share that he and his wife, Rachel Sullivan, welcomed their second baby to the world.
Aww.
And what's her name? Just from This Is Us, just had a baby.
Mandy Moore.
Thank you. So, yeah, it's a baby boom on that show.
Who's Chris Sullivan? Is he one of
was-
the triplets or
No, he was the husband
Of the big lady?
Yes.
That's Taserface from Guardians of the
Oh,
Galaxy.
really?
Yeah.
All right. So they said in the post, please welcome, and I don't know if this is this child's name or not, Aoife Bay, Aoife. Anybody ever seen a name like that?
No, I have not.
I have not.
Sounds
A
very
skin condition like that.
Gaelic to me.
And he wrote, she came 3 weeks early, fully grown, healthy and very strong, super fast and smooth delivery, much to her mother's relief. He said, Brother Bear is enamored and overjoyed to welcome his sister home, telling everyone, baby coming. The day she was born. Today reports their son, Bear, is 2 years old.
There you go.
That's really cute.
Casey nailed it. It's a Gaelic name.
Oh, okay. And I wonder how you pronounce it.
Here, wait, I have it here.
Pronounced Lloyd. Lloyd.
Wait, I'm
Wow. Lloyd. Babies are so adorably fragile. You know, you think of animals that can just stand up and start moving the second that they're born, but we're useless. Adorable, but useless.
Lloyd, all null and void.
That's
from Say Anything.
yes, it is. By the way, it's Aoife.
How is it?
Aoife.
Aoife. Interesting name.
Uba.
Uba. All right, a couple other quick things. Speaking of Uba, the Hollywood Reporter reports that a new Star Wars film is in the works.
Is it Ryan Johnson?
It is.
It is.
Damon Lindelof will co-write the script, and Ms. Marvel director Charmin Obaid Chinoy is set to direct the film. Who did you say?
Ryan Johnson. He was talking about
it. His name is not mentioned in this, but
he in his IMDb when we were talking to him on Friday, it says there's something in production.
So Disney gave him Disney/Star Wars universe gave him a separate trilogy to direct that it was completely separate from the Skywalker saga.
Right.
So but none of that has been committed to film. I don't know if there's even a script attached to any of it, but at some point he will direct all 3 movies in a separate Star Wars trilogy.
All right, and then one last superhero bit of information. Marvel Studios dropped the first trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania yesterday.
Did you watch it?
I did.
Yeah.
Looks interesting. I don't know what to think about it yet.
Do you know what it does look interesting. Exactly what I would say. Interesting. I am getting...
You're getting tired of the whole other world thing?
I'm getting a little worn out with that. Yeah, I would like to see, there's a lot of green screen going on, and it's okay to be in the real world. It seems like 90% of this movie is in this other world, which that's
the quantum
fine.
realm,
right? We'll see.
But there's a whole, a complete other. I don't know if the universe would be the right word, but in this quantum realm and. It's obviously it's another place that they can go because they have a gazillion stories to tell. But I don't know. I don't know. I'll give it a fair shake because it's Marvel and I love the Ant-Man character and Paul Rudd's fantastic. So
essentially, they're setting up Kang the Conqueror to be the next Thanos. So the next supervillain in the Marvel universe is going to be Kang the Conqueror, and that's where he's coming from. Is in the Quantumania. So Steve, I think I totally understand and don't disagree with your observation, but I think that this is going to be the gateway to get Kang the Conqueror into our world.
And it clearly is. And I'll tell you this, as of right now, I'm less than impressed with Kang. So they've had Kang in Loki, the series, and if they Kang him up, that'll be cool. But
make
right
him
now,
look a little more fearful, a little more.
The actor's excellent. I just give me some more meat. But I don't know. We'll see what they do.
Well, because Thanos was such an imposing, big, just larger, freaky looking character.
And the end was purple.
And the end was purple, definitely. Well, we assume it was. The rest of his head was purple. So Paul Rudd, Jonathan Majors, Evangeline Lilly, Michelle Pfeiffer, Michael Douglas, they all star in the new film. It is set to hit theaters February 17th. So look for that. But the trailer is out now. All right, we can now get to the clips. The Winchesters is a prequel to the long-running series Supernatural that explains the untold love story of Dean's parents. In this clip, star Jensa Ackles discusses what made him want to expand the Supernatural franchise.
You go with what you know, and we knew this. And it kick-started this conversation of, why hasn't it been expanded? What would that look like? We just started kind of spitballing and workshopping things, and this one kind of landed, and we started, was like, oh, wait a second.
He played Soldier Boy in The Boys.
Wait a minute.
Oh, that's who that is? Okay.
I'm trying to remember Soldier Boy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the next bad dude.
Yes.
Yeah, the kind of former Captain America gone bad.
So bad.
Oh, my God.
Unbelievably bad.
Are there any good? All right, anyway. In the new episode of The Winchesters, you will find that it airs tonight, 8 o'clock on the CW. Next clip. Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities is an anthology of sinister stories told by revered horror creators. And here, producer Guillermo del Toro explains why his childhood gave him an affinity for the macabre.
I think that whenever you're born with sensibility and intelligence, you're going to have an unhappy childhood. So to some degree, you're not going to fit. You're going to channel it somewhere else. And as a kid, I was 70 years old.
Yeah! Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities is out on Netflix today.
Very intrigued by this.
All right. And there you go. That's what I have in the entertainment report for you. Decent morning. We are happy to have you on board because we got some guests. We got things to talk about, stuff to give away as well. First of all, Tattoosday. Your chance to win a Preston and Steve themed tattoo. Text the word tattoo to 39333. It's a $350 gift certificate from Floating World Tattoo and Piercing, which, by the way, they're at 1729 South Street in Philly. You can check them out on Instagram as well at Floating World Tattoos. We have You Who Loot and more coming up. Let's take a break. We will return in just a moment with all of that and more. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR. Preston and Steve's Camp Out for Hunger is coming soon.
Role as Obi-Wan Kenobi in a series that centers around his Star Wars character for Disney Plus, according to the Hollywood Reporter.
It is Obi-Wan Kenobi, attorney at law. It's a departure.
That would be.
Yeah.
I think you should let him off with time served.
I'm giving you time served.
He's using the Jedi mind trick to sway the judge.
I think you should find him innocent.
I'm finding you innocent.
I object! There's no way that's legal! It's totally legal.
Oh, my God.
I think you need to go to sleep.
I got to go to sleep now.
That would be...
That would be
brilliant.
Attorney at law.
This isn't the evidence you're looking for.
Yeah.
Even if you're stone cold guilty, give me a call.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the commercials. Yeah.
Demand Kenobi.
Yeah. And he's licensed in Missouri.
I am.
Yeah.
And even if I'm not, I'll convince them I am.
Yes, that's right.
I'm licensed in Missouri. He's licensed in Missouri.
Better call Obi.
Would he wear would he be a cowboy hat?
Space cowboy.
Lawyer?
Yeah.
Type? Oh, my God. Obi-Wan Kenobi, attorney at law.
Anytime, day or night, even on New Year's Day.
Coming soon to Disney Plus.
Or Life Day on the Wookiee home planet.
No, this could be good. I loved him as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I didn't care for the series of movies, but I thought he pulled it off
I agree.
wonderfully.
He was the thing that kept me watching, and he provided, I believe, the emotional core to those. The second and third movies I really do like. I think they're good. In just tone and in some way, the distinction between the Abrams movies, the artificiality of the first trilogy was almost too much. It was so CGI'd that it was hard to connect to.
Yeah,
But
everything on the screen was fake.
Yeah.
Except for the people, and even in that case, a lot of like Jar Jar obviously was fake. But there's a big stretch of time where we don't know what happens with Obi-Wan, and maybe they'll fill in that time.
Yeah.
with his law career,
law school,
With this,
passing the bar.
Mr. Kenobi, do you have anything to say?
John Houseman.
So anyhow, we'll see when that eventually
He gets his own
surfaces.
judge show.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
This bitch still got my TV.
Give the TV back.
He's settling these small claims cases.
It's like Sam
This bitch still got my TV.
Oh my God. Oh.
I suggest you return the TV. Give me the TV.
All right, TMZ reports that Davey Chase. Now, I looked her up, and it says she started The Ring. She was Samara. She's the psycho.
Yes.
The scary girl.
The girl in the well.
And by the way, turns out she's gorgeous.
Yes, she is.
She was arrested, and she was arrested on a drug possession charge and spent some time behind bars. Yeah.
But she escaped through the television, didn't she?
She did. She managed to get out
knew
of there
we were
through the
going that
TV.
way.
But she's had some run-ins. Last year, she was locked up after cops pulled her over for joyriding in an allegedly stolen car.
She was locked up for 7 days.
Is the phone rings after 7 days or something like
In
that?
7 days. Yeah, that's when you die. You have 7 days to get your affairs in order before you're... 7 days.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie. 6.5.
7 business days.
Business days? So that means I get the weekend, too?
Well, it's Monday's Labor Day, so about 8 days. All right, just stay there. I'm going to come over and kill you now.
Yeah, if you could be more specific, it might help in planning. So,
what if I go across the international date line? Let me get back to you.
Coming up soon, we'll be addressing Halloween. But
Yes.
it's a favorite costume for Halloween parties and haunted houses.
Which is the one where you go to where they have a girl who really does the full, clicking and the whole body gesticulation.
Penhurst?
No, it's there's probably one there, but there's one. Maybe it's there's
one
it's the one way out. Where
I know
we
what
always
you're
get
talking
lost
about.
going to.
It's in Bucks County.
Yeah.
I know exactly the one you're talking
but the girl who does
Fear?
Nah,
might be.
Valley of Fear.
It's out kind of in a woodsy area.
It's Grotto of Consternation is the name of it.
Hang on. Chrissy is on the line to tell us about that haunted attraction. And it is Valley of Fear, isn't it? So it's Valley of Fear?
It is Valley of Fear, and the girl who does play the one from The Ring, who was there for a long time, Liz, is just a phenomenal singer, too. I just wanted to let you guys know.
Really? Okay.
Oh, yeah, she's incredibly talented.
And she was good. It says you were moving along, she'd move along, and she never sang really, but she
didn't
I'm
sing.
the chick from The Ring, and I'm coming after you.
So her name is Liz?
Yes, Liz.
All right, cool. Thank you, Chrissy. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Cause in 7 days
See ya.
you're through.
All right.
It's not that scary.
I know, it's not scary when you sing it.
Yeah, right? Wouldn't it be a little less if it were a musical?
I live in a well and my life's kind of hell and I'm coming after you.
My life's kind of hell.
I'm the chick in the well and my life's kind of hell, but I'm a coming after you. In 7 days. 7 days.
In 7 days.
7 days.
7 days. Coming after you in 7 days.
Hey.
The Ring, the musical.
Turn my mic on. You turn his mic off.
I didn't turn it off. I think you might have hit the button yourself there, dude.
Uh-oh.
No, there we go. I just hit that button.
All right.
Wait a second. What's going on?
Wait a
What
second.
just happened here?
Your mic will turn off in 7 seconds. Your mic will turn off in 7 seconds. What? I don't have a mic.
So, what's going on with Lindsay Lohan and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia?
I'm sorry, I don't kiss and tell.
Mohammed bin Salman is his name.
Hey, Sababin bin Dalbin.
Rumors are Mohammed bin Salman.
Salbin bin Dagbin. I love you.
Mohammed bin Salman.
What?
Rumors are circulating that the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, who many critics say is a dictator and the real power behind the throne of his father, King Salman, and the perpetually beleaguered Lilo have formed a special relationship of some sort.
Wait, is it come and get roast beef?
Some believe that he is a dictator and the real power behind the throne of his father, King Salman. So sources spill that he flies her around on his jets and showers her with presents, even gifting her with a credit card.
Oh, it's a Discover card. It pays you for every purchase.
A rep denies the claim.
What's in your wallet?
What's in your wallet? But sources insist that Lindsay, who has been based partly in Dubai for a few years, is regularly courted by Middle Eastern dignitaries.
I love dictators.
In Saudi culture of late. And
Kim Jong-un, this is Lindsay.
last year declared her intention to make an all-female film dubbed Frame about Saudi Arabian life.
I want to make an all-female version of Steel Magnolias.
It is an all-female. It's already.
God damn it.
If Lindsay is, in fact, good friends with him, she wouldn't be the first Hollywood star to cavort with dictators, Kim Jong-un and Dennis Rodman. Hilary Swank and Ramzan Kadyrov.
Yes.
Steven Seagal and Vladimir Putin are just a few of the reported Hollywood political odd couples. So Lindsay might be, I don't know, tight with Mohammed bin Salman.
Wow.
And yeah, it's pretty wild, isn't it? A former Cape Breton University student says that she regrets not making a formal complaint 3 years ago against a professor who was fired this summer for demanding moose meat, lobster, and sex from a student in exchange for better grades.
In that order?
Moose meat, lobster, and sex.
All right, you don't have moose meat. You don't have lobster.
You got any lobster?
Thanks. All right, look, how about sex?
She said,
Wait, I found some moose meat. Yeah!
She said, I wish I did something back then. I wish I got him fired, Jess Hardy said. Then the situation wouldn't have happened. She was a first-year student and said that Shamal Fernadupal made inappropriate comments and suggestions.
You're going to ruin the day, Fernadouble.
And her appearance, and implied that he wanted a sexual relationship with her, and he would say inappropriate things all the time. Now, unfortunately, as the story goes on, it never gets into the details about the moose meat and lobster.
Well, it's a bizarre
That's what I'm
pecking
most
order.
interested in.
Right, yes. You don't understand.
But they ended up firing this guy because he apparently did.
Was it the moose meat?
To a couple of students. It was the moose meat.
He's here in front of the dean. It was the moose meat, wasn't it? Well, actually, the number 3 on the list here, the sex.
So apparently he wasn't only demanding sex, but moose meat and lobster.
I should have stopped at lobster.
And they fired him. So there you go. That's all I have in the
It's
details.
like he's looking for something to round out the list.
Yeah.
And the sex.
Yeah. Kourtney Kardashian is fighting back against critics who claim that she does no work.
Preston, are you saying she's clapping back?
She is clapping back, Steve. Yep. And she got some blowback after posting multiple shots from her family vacations in Italy and Idaho. I know.
So what's it going to be, kids? Italy or Idaho?
She's only visiting places that start with I.
Yeah.
And Idaho happened to be on the list. In Italy,
Indiana.
In Italy, the Poosh founder partied with her 3 kids, Mason, Penelope, and Rain. Remember Poosh?
I'm sorry, I just pooshed.
Yeah, that's her. Is that her lifestyle brand? Poosh.
Trying to be like Goop, I guess.
Yeah.
Poosh. I just pooshed in my pants.
People who brought you queef and drippy fart.
But she partied.
Poosh, and queef. The award-winning triple line from Kourtney Kardashian.
The Poosh founder partied with her 3 kids nominally for her sister Kylie's 22nd birthday.
With the subtle scent of salmon.
Several other family members were there, as was her ex, Scott Disick, with whom she shares her children, and his girlfriend, Sophia Richie. Now, in Idaho, Kourtney and her kids...
We're going to Idaho, kids!
...hung with her sister Kendall. One social media user commented, "Kourtney, this is why people say you don't work, girl." And she replied, so she clapped back.
She clapped back.
"We all have our priorities, so I'll be making memories with my kids and amazing people while living my life to the absolute fullest." And then a fight broke out between commenters who praised her for prioritizing her kids over at work, and others who said, as working moms, they were dedicated to family too. And so Kourtney clapped back again.
So she clapped back at the mothers?
She says, "Who says I'm not a working mom? Because I most definitely am. Working moms can be dedicated, of course. As women, we should be supporting each other for what allows us to be our best, not being so critical and judgmental of each other. We all do things our own way."
Did they counterattack with the clap salvo?
I don't think so. There was not. Underlying her point, she wrote, "Travel diary coming soon."
Can't wait.
On Poosh. And I guess there must be an Instagram account because it says @Poosh. Poosh. Yeah, @Splooge. Splooge. We need to start our own lifestyle brand called
Jig Jill.
Splooge. All right. So anyhow,
that's her fight song.
Yeah, I guess so.
This is my fight song. Take back my life song.
Live it,
To be
girl.
honest, though, following her on Instagram, I don't follow her on Instagram, but I follow her.
WMMR.
All right, thanks, Kath. So obviously we are leading into Halloween.
Yes.
Today's the 25th of October, so we're right on the edge of that. And with that, all the... that kind of indicates, the whole idea behind horror is from the emotion disgust, and why we as human beings actually want to seek out things that are disgusting from time to time.
At least some of us, right?
Yeah. So to define it, disgust is fundamentally an emotion of avoidance. It signals that something might be harmful to your body and encourages you to avoid it.
I had a perfect demonstration of this. It's an object lesson of what you're talking about right now, Preston. It was on Sunday. I watched the new Hellraiser on Hulu. Okay. And I love the original Clive Barker Hellraiser, and it is full of these creatures, the Cenobites, and their, torture, sadism, and they literally rip your body apart, but they believe it's for the ultimate in pleasure. Long story short, I loved this Hulu version. I thought it was the best since the original, but my wife comes in, she sits down, and I'm like, oh, you know where this is going. And Preston, she literally turned to me and goes, how can you watch this?
Well, scientists believe that disgust originally concerned food. In fact, Darwin had noted how readily this feeling is excited by anything unusual in the appearance, odor, or nature of our food.
Interesting.
According to his theory, it slowly evolved to guard over all sorts of things that might put you in contact with dangerous pathogens, whether via disease, animals, bodily injury, corpses, or sex, even. What's more, disgust seems to have evolved further to regulate things that are symbolically harmful, violations of morals, cultural rules, and cherished values. This is why some people might say that they're disgusted by an act of, say, racism or something like that.
Yes, right.
Because of these regulatory functions, disgust is often known as the gatekeeper emotion, the exclusionary emotion, or the body and soul emotion.
So you can be disgusted, obviously, like at poverty, or you can be disgusted at those things. And I guess, so they're saying the horror movie reaction or something that's presented to you maybe in a movie is an extension of that.
Yes, exactly. So how do we account for the fact that disgusting things can sometimes captivate us, like horror movies?
Yeah.
Psychological research suggests that disgusting stimuli both capture and retain your attention more effectively than emotionally neutral stimuli do. So this happens from an evolutionary perspective. I'll try not to get too clinical.
No.
It seems that an attentional bias towards disgust, no matter how averse, would better equip humans to avoid harmful substances. So although disgust can be an unpleasant feeling, the emotion has evolved to simultaneously seize essentially your attention.
Right.
Because you're like, I want to stay away from that. I need to pay attention to this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I was recently telling you about two movies that I got turned on to recently. And I sort of avoided them because on the cover for these movies, it was a clown. And I'm like, Pennywise is kind of the OG. I mean, he's, once you've done that, there's no really other place to take the clown story. It's Terrifier and Terrifier 2, the sequel. And the clown is Art the Clown. And I was telling you, Preston, the actor, who's, by the way, coming to Monster Mania Con on the first Saturday after the Camp Out for Hunger, this guy has like mime moves that are so disorienting and so weird and so chilling, but it's also an homage to just slice and dice, slasher, torture, heavy stuff. But it's done juxtaposed to this clown, and it's not for everybody. But I found myself sitting there laughing, chuckling, because it's so crazy.
Did you chuckle in the part where he hung the girl upside down and cut her in half with the hacksaw?
Oh, my God.
And showed it?
Yeah.
A chainsaw?
Yeah.
I saw him
Oh,
using
it's a hacksaw. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that you're just, it's so outlandish that it's over the top, but the performance and everything is really solid. Again, I think this is exactly what you're, because you almost sit there going, why is this? Why am I enjoying this?
Yeah.
But I am.
Yeah, I'm not into the slasher stuff anymore. There was a time when I got into it when I was younger, but now I don't get it.
If a movie is predicated on that, if that's the one sell, it's boring to me. Yeah, it's like, then there's a countless list of movies. This has, the presentation is done in a way that sort of puts an angle on it that I really found pretty interesting. And it's doing very well at the box office.
Yeah.
Terrifier 2 has like an 86% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, Caroline watches these body count videos on YouTube all the time, and they were doing, I think it was a body count one, but anyhow, they were doing like the top characters that essentially are completely desensitized to their deranged activity.
Yes.
And this dude was number one.
Art the Clown.
On the list.
Absolutely. He makes Pennywise look like a social worker.
So, Preston, in this article, does it describe how some people just don't possess this gene at all? Because all of this, to me is a turnoff. I don't get into it at all. And
I completely understand that.
I completely understand yours as well. It's just like I get scared by scary things, and I don't want to subject myself to that.
This doesn't go directly into just horror films and things like that. So there might be other kinds of disgust. Like I'm sure you're really into really disgusting, kinky sex things.
Right. All right.
You like that.
So
Like
that's
German torture
different
porn.
for you.
All right, go on. Yeah.
So no, but I don't know.
This is good, and I like strudel too.
Yeah. Right. I didn't realize they were going to bring in pastry.
Oh yeah.
I find it stressful. Like these movies, like for
Yes,
me, it's like
yes.
stress
Kathy?
to watch it. And I'm like, my shoulders are tense. I'm like, why do I want to do this right now?
Claire and Claire has watched a number of things with me, and I give her all the credit in the world because there's some stuff she can watch. But that's exactly what she says. She's like, I can't. I was playing Resident Evil one time, Preston, and she had, no, Silent Hill, that sound that lays underneath the whole thing.
Yeah.
She had, I got to leave. I can't put up with this.
Yeah, and that's
Too
what
much.
it's meant to do.
Yes,
Yeah, it's meant to make
exactly.
you uncomfortable. Absolutely. So should we? So for whatever reason, a lot of people are predisposed. Yeah, it says here, not only are you predisposed to be captivated by disgusting things, there's also a psychological mechanism that enables you, in the right circumstances, to enjoy them. And they actually give an example, real quick, of Shakespeare. Shakespearean disgust, it says. The playwright's notorious tragedy, Titus
The bard came home.
Titus Andronicus contains as much gore as today's slasher movies. According to one estimate, the play stages 14 killings, 9 of them on stage, 6 severed members, 1 rape, it says, or 2 or 3, depending on how many you count, 1 live burial, 1 case of insanity, and 1 of cannibalism.
Wouldst thou attend summer camp with me?
An average of 5.2 atrocities per act, or 1 for every 97 lines.
That's pretty active.
I'm not familiar with that one, but apparently it's pretty nasty. So, but anyhow, so yeah, you want to go through some things you recommend for people to check out?
Sure.
And you were going for this year's list because you put out lists of, the all-time greats before, and we see those regularly.
It's constant.
Yeah.
And what I mean, obviously The Exorcist and other movies are going to end up if you want the top 20. So I went with more what I would consider off the beaten path, lesser known, but there's a lot that's not. There's hardly any blood in some of these at all. In fact, it's more like a gothic ghost story vibe in a lot of this. So for people who like horror on that level, this is actually a better list for you this year. There's some stuff that really, kicks, but most of it is, I think, pretty accessible. Nothing like Terrifier or Hellraiser.
Right.
So what I did is this. The video is up on PrestonandSteve.com. If you go to PrestonandSteve.com, I did a video with Dave from Monster Mania Con. And he's tied into all this stuff. He put together a list as well. And I can give you some of the films on the list if you want right now.
Yeah. If you want to go through some or all, it's up to you. What do you want to do?
So I put, again, these aren't necessarily great, but there are moments in it that I'm like, oh, that's really well done. Or this is cool. Or this scene's kind of creepy. So I'm not implying these are masterpieces. Some of them are. The first one out of the gate is the movie The Possession. And, we had Modest Yahoo in the studio after he had just appeared in The Possession, where he plays this basically a Jewish exorcist.
Right.
And it's kind of that story. That's the way I describe it. But it involves this thing called the Dybbuk box, which the Dybbuk, I guess, is in Jewish or Yiddish legend is like a demon. And the box keeps the demon contained.
I've heard of that before.
And there was a story, an urban legend years ago about someone who purchased one of these at a yard sale or a house sale or whatever, and swears to God that everything horrible. Now, of course, who knows? Yeah. But for the story, it works.
Right.
And so, from the beginning, there's some really weird stuff. You have Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Keira Sedgwick, who turned in really good performances. Modest Yahoo is really good. And it's moody, and it has a number of scenes that I thought were top level.
Hey, I want to ask real quick, Nick, because you had asked about, people who aren't into this type of thing. Is that mainly just slasher, slicer-dicer movies, or do you like scary movies?
I'll take thrillers and horrors, but slasher stuff, I'm completely out.
Okay, so thriller and horrors, you're down for that.
For me, the scariest movie of all time, just my own personal choice, is Silence of the Lambs. The way that messes with my head it makes me very, very scared.
What do you think about people who call that a horror movie, Steve?
I think there's a case to be made for that. Yeah,
I never have seen that as a horror film.
I
see it as all thriller.
Yeah, it's probably not a horror
It's more
movie.
thriller.
But sometimes it's categorized.
Yeah.
as
So,
one.
Preston, I don't classify the Friday the 13th movies as horror movies. I consider them suspense movies. They're slasher movies.
Right.
To me, and to your point, Nick, I'm quicker to dismiss movies just based on slice and dice.
Right.
Because a lot of times they're not like Terrifier 1 and 2, believe it or not. So what I just told you is scripted in a very unique way, and the performance sets it aside. The guy playing Art the Clown makes it interesting, but that I'm not in just because people are being hacked up.
Okay.
And I think that's what my grandmother used to say that as well. So. Next up on the list is The Night Stalker from 1972. This is an ABC. Do you remember Movies of the Week when they used to
Sure.
have them? They're
Yeah.
great movies. You guys might be familiar with The Night Stalker. If you know the dad from A Christmas Story, Darren McGavin, he first years ago had a long-running movie career, and he ended up playing this character, Carl Kolchak. And the great Richard Matheson wrote the screenplay for this. And he is a reporter, kind of down on his luck on the slide of his career, working in Las Vegas. And there starts to occur, excuse me, I don't know, I'm hacking up these things. But there, a couple of murders occur, showgirls, and they're drained of their blood. And he's there, and he's like, come on, this is crazy. He keeps following up, and things start, presenting themselves. For example, the coroner says they did an autopsy. There was no blood in this woman's body. He starts to piece things together before the police. It's in many ways, it's like Jaws.
Okay.
Because the city, the business district and all that stuff, they don't want this information getting out. So they're suppressing this news story about this guy who either thinks he's a vampire or who is legitimately a vampire is killing people in the city. Think about one of the best cities if you're a vampire to live in. It's going to be Vegas. 24 hours.
I have a question. If it's a spoiler, let me know. Bumpuses?
It was not the Bumpuses.
Okay, all right.
But that same makes him, Carl Kolchak and Darren McGavin, so great, so brilliant, is why you will dig this movie.
Okay.
And it is systematic and Preston. It's so Stephen King-ish in many ways. You'll dig it.
I need to see that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Up next is Dead Silence. And when we had Lee Winnell, and I think you had James Wan and Lee Winnell in the studio, so one of their earlier movies, I think right after.
Wait a minute. Bumpus.
Together stuff for the Hollywood trash, and to be honest, I've never seen her do anything but Vacation.
I know.
Well,
Never.
That's what her job is.
That is her job.
Yep. Well, she's working hard then.
Well, just consult Poosh if you want to find out what she's up to.
Let's talk about the happiest place on earth.
It's magical.
Disney. This is Disneyland, by the way, in Anaheim. And there's a viral video, yes, that is making the rounds of a couple of families beating the ever-loving piss out of each other for about 4 minutes before they finally go their separate ways.
That's a long fight.
It is a long fight.
Is someone in a wheelchair?
It's in Toontown, by the way. There was somebody on a mobility scooter.
Okay, all right.
Kathy, but the fight happens. They start to split up. Then it sparks back up again. Then they kind of split up. Then it keeps going on and on.
I mean, and it's like the Andy Kaufman used to do the intergender wrestling.
Yeah.
They're brawling. Doesn't matter. The dude's beating on the woman.
Oh my God! Wait, so that's okay. I'm just seeing this for the first time.
the
guy
fists are
punches
flying.
the woman.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a couple of women beating up. It's just a mess.
Where's security?
Not that it's an excuse, but it kicks off. They're having words, and the woman just spits right in this guy's face, and then he slugs her. But I can't figure out who's on whose side.
No, neither can I.
It's like I'm like, oh, he's hitting her now. I thought she was with him, and it's just who the hell knows what's going on.
And then the woman in the mobility scooter gets up as if
She can walk.
Yeah.
It's a
miracle. This stupid fight between these imbeciles has caused a miracle.
You know what? And there's a moment in this video where the whoever is filming this video, by the way, is laughing the whole time. She's not with them because obviously she would be getting in the middle of this.
And she's up close.
But there's an older woman who gets knocked down to the ground on on her back, and you hear the woman filming just laughing her ass off. And I'm like, this is, and you can hear children crying in the background.
Oh my God. There's a little kid walking around, and it's obviously this is there. I will freely admit, I chuckled a few times, but the really tragic part of this here is this little kid is watching these adults do this and walking around with his hands up like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Even a kid can't figure it out.
And he taps, I guess, who is his mother. Like, hello, I'm here. Obviously he needs attention. He's upset too.
And all the while in the background, you have the delightfully colored Toontown.
Oh, my God.
Happy place.
Listen, I understand that things can go awry anywhere, and somebody can have a bad day, and something can trigger. But if you can have the presence of mind to be aware of where you are, right then and there, you're in Disneyland, the happiest place on earth. Come on, look around you, see where you are. Shut up. But some people are just... some people are just a-holes.
It just kills me in this one because there was another one, Preston. I forget it was at like a kid's park. It was like an amusement park. It very well may have been Disney World. And this one's great because the woman in the mobility scooter in that one, Kathy, she doesn't get up, but she starts using her mobility scooter to join the fight.
Oh,
She's
wow.
backing up and ramming the brawling people. Brilliant. So that's Malignant.
Nice.
And then do you want the others from Dave?
Sure, yeah.
I agree with many of his.
By the way, all of this at WMMR.com, Steve's list of horror movies, and he's taking a different take on it this time around. Not necessarily the greatest horror movies of all time, but ones that have a little bit of an intriguing...
When you're passing by, you'll stop and watch it. Okay. And that was my litmus test, So Dave from Monster Mania, he recommended Smile, which I have not seen yet. But he said he was explaining how it's very similar to It Follows. People, before they kind of go into this possessed rage, have this creepy smile that comes across their face. And Preston, you this is what they were
at the baseball games.
At the baseball games.
Yeah, people sitting behind home plate with this really
That's
creepy...
what they were doing?
Yes.
Yes. So that's from Smile.
All right.
And Kevin Bacon's daughter is in this, and she is the main star. And she was from a mayor of Easttown. So that's Smile. Last Man on Earth. So movies, The Omega Man, and I Am Legend. But the first movie that got to that Richard Matheson story, I Am Legend, was The Last Man on Earth. And that is a black and white movie. It was produced in Italy. Vincent Price is in it. And that was sort of the impetus that convinced George Romero to do the zombie movie Night of the Living Dead. Because you'll notice a lot of similarities. Is it great? I don't think it is, but it's interesting. And there are enough scares in it to make it worth the while.
All right.
Legend of Hell House. If you like a real solid ghost story, possessed house, hidden secrets.
I don't like that.
Okay.
I'm not doing that.
Those are the ones that get me.
This is done in a more gothic style, Preston. It's not like Paranormal Activity, but it might still F you up. Not Malcolm McDowell, Roddy McDowell is great in it, and it is done with a British cast. Richard Matheson, again, wrote the screenplay to this. Another solid movie. Burnt Offerings.
I've heard of that.
Okay, so Dan Curtis, who was responsible for the second Night Strangler movie, he directs this. Basically, these people, Oliver Reed and Karen Black and her son, they decide to basically before Airbnb, they move into this house, and they can have the house for a little while. The only thing they have to do is they have to take care of the mother who's living in the upstairs apartment.
No.
Yes.
No.
And Karen Black is the only one who goes up there to take care of her.
Yes.
Now, as they're in the house, say like someone cuts their foot, this house is kind of dilapidated, but say someone gets injured.
Starts to improve.
And so you're putting all of that together, and in this time period, a lot of movies could end. Oh, Betty Davis is in it as well. But it can end on a non-happy note.
Sure.
A lot of these movies of this time didn't end the way you wanted them to. I'll just give you that bit of warning. Dave put on his list Magic, which is with Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
This is another ventriloquist dummy movie.
Yeah.
Where he is possessed. Well, I'll leave it up to you.
Yeah.
He is an entertainer who's very popular, but the line between him and his ventriloquist dummy is starting to blur, and you don't quite know what's going on. You have Anne Margaret Burgess Meredith there in it as well. It is it's easy to take, but it's very intriguing. And the legendary screenplay writer William Goldman wrote the screenplay, and it's. I happen to like it. It's not my favorite, but I really think it's worth being on the list.
All right.
And then the final one he picked was Dracula, as played by Jack Palance. I don't know if you ever saw that version of it. It's probably, it's exactly like that.
Suck your blood.
Yeah. So this one is probably more accurate to the original Bram Stoker story. About 60% of it is pretty true to the source material. Just to see that performance, and Jack Palance can play a monster without wearing any makeup whatsoever because of that face. But it's really done really well, and it is a really interesting take on Dracula. A lot of the original materials in it, and it's worth watching.
Somebody texted in and said, Steve, essentially, this is your fall activities list.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
Yes.
I want to tell you what a wuss I am when it comes to haunting videos, movies, and stuff like that. I was watching some video that popped up on my YouTube feed, and it was a guy who worked as a night watchman at a mausoleum.
Oh my God, I saw this.
Yeah. Okay. So
I didn't like it.
I didn't like it either. and while I'm watching it, I know somebody else is there. It's a fake video. Somebody's making the noises and stuff. But essentially, he's walking through and he's like, "Man, this happens every night. This has been happening every night."
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be played off as if it's real. And you can hear someone's voice off in the distance. He's like, "Hey, who's there? Come on out. You got to come out now. We got to get you out of here. You're trespassing." Blah blah blah. And these things turn. All these lights are flashing on and stuff like that. For a good 2 weeks. We get up before the sun comes up. It's pitch black dark in my house. I'm the only one awake. I walk down the house and I walk down the stairs and I'm thinking, I'm going to hear some chick making some comments and it's going to scare the hell out of me. And it's, it's like 30 seconds of terror for me. I don't like that.
I completely understand that. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm on board. I'm drawn to it. And because I've had my moments where, like, after The Exorcist, I remember like, let me have to decompress off this when it first came out. If you're seeing it these days, it may not seem like much, but when it came out, it rocked the world.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But I know exactly, like Paranormal Activity
scares me.
takes place in that sort of stuff will drive you crazy. I got it.
Which is wild because I really don't even believe in that stuff.
I know.
But it scares me.
I believe enough.
Yeah.
I believe just enough. Like 0.5%, 1/4%.
And that's
I believe, and that's all
what
I
these
need.
play on.
Yeah.
Casey, process it this way. My wife will not go do wax museums or haunted attractions like Bates. And her belief is, even though this is 2% of what she believes, that if she's there, if a killer was going to kill her, that'd be the place to do it because they would just think the killer was an employee.
I'll hang out with Claire while you go do that stuff. Because you guys know me. We did the haunted tours for years, and I hated those things.
She hates them. I love them.
Yeah. What I know is true is that there are people who kill people out there, right? So
There are, yeah.
Maybe there aren't ghosts, maybe there aren't demons and all that sort of haunting stuff, but there are people out there that stalk and hunt and kill people.
But you will watch a horror movie now and then, right?
Yeah, but I'm a big wuss when it comes to that stuff. And the house that I grew up in was old and looked scary and was scary at points. And I'm telling you that my back deck, when I would come home at night, the back deck, there was like 10 steps to get up. It was high off of the ground. And it was just dark enough that somebody could hide under the deck and
Did you run up
grab
those
my
stairs?
foot through the stairs. I would book up those stairs every single time.
Casey, well, when I was a kid, I used to sleep. I would cover over my entire body with the sheet, but I would leave one finger out.
Just in case.
In case, my belief was if a witch came in and stapled the sheet to the mattress, I'd be able to work my way out.
Yeah.
And at my hall, by the way, where I slept as a kid, my bed looked all the way down the hall to where the stairs went downstairs. So, and it was pitch black dark, and I would sit there and look down the hall, and you'd see when it's absolute dark, you see things.
You ever see the shadow people?
No, I've never seen the shadow people.
Okay.
Yeah, Casey, you had a friend though who says he saw a shadow person, right?
No, my God, I don't even remember that story. I don't want to remember the story. I do know that
I love it.
We always left our bathroom light on.
Right.
We had one bathroom on the second floor of our house, and that light was always on. Every now and then, that light would not be on. And like, I'm like, well, I guess I'm not going to the bathroom tonight, you know?
There's actually a good movie. It's junk food, but it's called Darkness Falls, and it's about a creature that lives in the dark. So when it has you kind of figure out how you would survive if you knew you were being hunted by this thing. And there's a scene in a hospital where the emergency lights come on and there's patches of light down the hallway. So the thing can't get to you in the light, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to get past it. So that to me that sits in the realm of like this year's list. Not a great movie, but it's fun.
You know what I do like, and I wouldn't consider like this a horror movie, but I guess it really kind of is. But like A Quiet Place.
Yes. Yes.
I love that
That's
movie.
technically a science fiction movie.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense because it's aliens. But
there's
I
horror.
love stuff like that.
Absolutely. And that's brilliantly done.
I've always been intrigued by the idea of scary movies. And my parents let me one time when I was a little kid, I begged them to let me watch American Werewolf in London. I made it 5 minutes into the movie. And that was, I mean, even when, like, the Incredible Hulk, when he changed into the Hulk, I had to leave the room. I had
his
to
eyes
leave.
would turn, he'd open his eyes and they're green.
His eyes would turn green, and I'm like, I'm out.
Casey, do you know what scared me when I was a kid? The Count from Sesame Street.
He's terrifying.
That guy would have lightning going off in the background. He'd be yelling at you.
Kathy,
That's funny.
Any horror movies have any interest to you, or do you like?
Yeah, I mean, yes, but that whole, like, if I'm stressed, I'm like, what's happening? Why am I watching this?
Why am I doing this to myself?
I just recently watched one, like Preston was talking about. I don't know if it's considered a horror film, but I looked up like horror movies or Halloween movies for kids or young teens, because Jace loves them, but some of them, like, he really wants to see Smile. I watched that. I was like, yeah, we're not doing that, pal. But there was one, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was an app that all of the high school kids were downloading
There's a couple of
on
them.
their phone, and it would give their death date, and
it might be Death Date.
that
might be the title of it.
I don't like that.
It would, and then Jace takes his phone. He's like, "Is it a real app?" And he searches it. I'm like, "No, we are not searching it. We're not putting that on our phone."
So, Steve, I just finished. I watched this show on Netflix. It's called like a Haunted something or other.
Yeah.
And it's brand new, and it's in these 3 different locations. And it's a documentary.
The Warrens from the Conjuring. Yeah, right.
So it's their son-in-law is like the guy behind it, but they have these 3 different ghost investigation teams, and one's in Connecticut, the other's in Denver, and one's in North Carolina. And
it's not a scripted movie.
It's documentary style where these people stay in these haunted locations for 28 days because they believe you have to have a 28-day cycle in order to, like, really do a deep investigation, right? So I'm watching.
That's the science.
There are some moments where I got, like, a little bit freaked out, but, like, I won't. There's this guy, and if you just take it for, like, what it really is, this guy is yelling at this demon, right?
Yeah.
You don't see a demon, right? Like, there is. So this dude could just be yelling for no reason. Stay back, demon! And I was like,
You got to watch Ghost Adventures on Travel Channel with Zach Baggins. You familiar with this guy? Same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Did you see that? Right here, right on this side. No, you know that we can't see it, and you know that we can't verify whether you felt that.
Yeah.
But that's the usual go-to.
Yeah.
I got to get out of here.
Yeah. Well, this dude, he has a headache all of a sudden. Well, I can't see your headache.
Well, you know what? People get headaches.
Yeah. Get out, demon! That's it. And he would use these, like, I beseech thee. And I'm like, what? Why are you using
That's
these
what they
words?
do. There's one where they're in a prison. You think you're tough?
Yeah.
You think you're tough? Come on.
You will not scare. I will not back down to you. I was like, okay.
Well,
all right.
most demons were theater actors, and you have to speak their language. You have to tell them. You have to
Give me
project.
a break.
By the way, I was going to have us take a break, but we're just getting started. Right? So we're going to keep going until we get to You Who Loot. We got about 10 minutes. So there's some calls coming in. I do want to go to Clint. Hi, Clint. You're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. How we doing?
Great. What's up, buddy?
All right. So, Preston, I want to ease your mind a little bit.
All right.
I understand that ghosts can be a little scary.
Yes.
and whatnot. But the majority of them are, unfortunately, I would say unfortunately, but in my family, we have family members who are able to see other things, questionable stuff. So unfortunately, I'm one of those people that has that little so-called gift.
So you believe that you're what they call sensitive to this?
Yes.
Okay, and you yourself, you believe you've seen the ghosts and things of that nature?
Yes. So I have seen a few things. They're just curious. They're not.
Are they asking you where Preston lives?
What was that?
Are they asking you where Preston lives?
Yeah, they're like, where is Presbo? And I'm like, oh, he's probably somewhere in Ballackinwood. But the majority of them are just like, we're curious. We need help getting to the other side, and they're not trying to scare you. They're just curious.
Clint, I need to know, how does this manifest itself to you?
So with certain people, we have auras. If you're into that whole thing, like you got the purple, you got the red, you got the blue, all that different colors.
It's like Skittles.
Yeah.
He's the rainbow. I have a blue aura from what I was told from certain people, like my mother has. So that blue aura is like a beacon for people who are stuck on this side that want to cross the other side. They want help getting to the other side. So take your energy and be like, hey, what's going on? Why can't we leave? Yeah, stuff like that. That's why most people are just sensitive because of the aura that we have.
Okay. Yeah, but what I'm asking you is, how does it manifest itself to you?
How do you see it?
Do you see something? Do you hear something? Do you
feel something?
Yeah. What? How do you know?
The majority of the time is like I feel my arms go up. My arms go up. My hairs go up on my arms, and I do hear like a little voice here and there in my ear. Turn around.
Hi.
Like,
Where's Preston?
It's E.T. asking to go home.
Okay.
Where does Preston live?
All right. I appreciate it, Clint. I personally don't believe it. I think it might be your inner voice talking to you. But if you believe it and you truly are into it, then
absolutely,
then that's all good. But you know what? Even though, like I said, Clint, I don't really believe it. It still scares me.
Yeah.
How pathetic am I?
Preston, what if you were walking down your stairs in the morning and you heard?
I had 3 testicles.
Thank you, Clint. I appreciate it, buddy.
Steve, also in this documentary thing, there's a guy on one of the teams. They have a person who is a quote unquote psychic or I forget what they call it.
A medium, works for Roto-Rooter and bought a lot of equipment on Amazon.
But then all of a sudden, the one guy who's just he's just one of the investigators. He discovers while he's there that I have psychic abilities too.
Oh my God, dude, I felt it. Did you see that? Did you see that? Where? Over there. You didn't see that? All right, play back the audio. Did you hear what it said?
Did you hear it?
It said I died during the Civil War. I didn't hear that. Play it back. Yeah.
Now, when we would do the ghost investigations and we would look for EMP, or not EMPs, that's electromagnetic pulse, but the EVPs,
yeah.
Which was the electric voice phenomenon.
Yes, and then there are snow peas.
Which,
they're delicious.
Yeah, but you got to get the string out of them though.
Yeah, I prefer water.
But anyway, we would ask these questions and roll a recording device, and then you would listen back. And we would hear things that were kind of like, all right, what was that?
It happened. One happened, Preston. We were in what was sort of a holding area at the penitentiary, Eastern State Penitentiary. We were up in this area. We were standing there. We saw the recording process. We saw everything play out. And at a certain point where the guy was conducting the tour, Lou Giroux, was conducting the tour and doing the experiment, he asked, do you want us here? We were there standing around him when he asked the question. We heard nothing. And yet on playback, when he played it back, he said, do you want us here? And you can hear with room reverb, no. Yeah. And it's
sorry, Mel, one more time.
But it was faint. It was faint like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
bump up the audio.
Correct, Preston. I mean, you were there. You heard on the playback, and that file you can find that online. Yeah.
I still, sorry, Casey, I still sing that song when
Louis Lou Giroux, Lou Giroux.
Yeah, that was
his name is Lou Giroux. We have that. You want to hear it?
We have our
all right. Here we
song
go.
for Lou Giroux. Here we go.
Wait. You got.
Why isn't that working?
Right here.
Okay.
His name is Lou Giroux. Louis Lou Giroux. His friends go boo, and his name is Lou Giroux.
Is that Zach?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Zach.
The bravest thing I ever did though was when we stayed at the Eastern State Penitentiary. Everybody went off
overnight.
Yeah, overnight, and everybody went off and did
We
an
did that a
investigation.
couple times, yeah.
And I stayed in the rotunda all by myself.
Yeah.
And I did not open my eyes. I'm like, if there's a ghost here, I don't want to see it. I'm just gonna keep my eyes closed.
Hang on, I want to go to Samantha. She's been on hold for a while. Hi, Samantha. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. What's up, Samantha?
So I have actually two things. You have to pick which one.
Okay.
I have a story about like how I thought my house was haunted, and my ex thought someone was breaking in, and so like he's got like this weapon, and I'm like, that's not going to work on a ghost. Or I have where you guys were talking.
Is it
about
a proton pack?
sensitive.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No. You said he had a weapon. What weapon was he wielding?
Gun.
Okay. All
It's a
right.
gun.
You can't shoot
In
a
his
ghost with
underwear.
a
And I'm
gun.
like, that's not going to work with a ghost.
Right. Exactly. She knows. You know,
Yeah.
Samantha. And what's the other story?
The other one is I can tell you like how I'm sensitive too. I've always been sensitive, and I can describe that to you probably a little bit better.
All right,
Like,
so Preston was asking Samantha, what you see, what do you experience, other than I just have a feeling? Do you actually see things?
So here, it's very weird. My mom physically sees things. I don't. I see them in my head, so I get a feeling, and that there's a presence and there's something there, and I can tell you if it's good or bad. And then I get like a vision of what I can relate it to.
All right.
In my head.
So
like if it's a scary movie person, I can like relate it to that. But it's definitely, I can get like an overwhelming feeling of it. It just recently happened to me. We were like renting and purchasing a house, and we walked into the house, and I was like, oh my God, there are so many beings here. So many things here.
Yeah.
I wanted to throw up.
So let me ask you. Let me just ask you quickly, because there are a lot of people, and I mean, you believe it, and that's fine. And if you have that belief, that's great. It's hard. No one can ever quite explain what they're feeling, and it's and I love this stuff, but it seems. Does it bother you that people don't believe you?
No, I don't care.
Okay.
I know what I felt. Is it like, I mean, I know I felt it, and
Yeah.
I know there's some times where I can tell you things about people that have been passed that I've never met. Like, I once had like a huge thing. I told my mom all this stuff about her grandmother that I never met, and she's like, "How do you know this?"
No, there's certainly there are stories of things that cannot be explained.
She liked to eat.
Right.
Wait, what?
Gum.
No, it was more of like specific memories that my mom had of her, and my
Okay.
mom never told me. And I was like, "Oh yeah." My mom's like, "Oh my God, where did you know that?" I was like, "I don't know."
Okay.
Well, so wait, so how did you know?
I have no idea. I was just sitting with her, and I just had this I have this feeling, and then all of a sudden, like I had these like flashing images of the memory.
Can you give us an
And I
example of
saw my mom.
one in particular?
So I mean, her name was Arnina, so she was very Italian.
Uh-huh.
And I remember there was like a holiday, and my mom. Well, this is what my memory is of it. And my mom was in the kitchen. She was little, and I could describe her dress and everything. And she was sneaking some kind of sauce or whatever. And my grandmother like yelled at her in Italian and like smacked her hand with the ladle.
Man, they love to smack.
But,
Go ahead.
was like, no, don't touch that. Like lashed her hand. Mom was like, how? Like I could describe the dress to her. This was like 20 years ago, so I can't remember now.
It's hard for us who don't have anything like this to understand what you're saying, but I believe you have that you believe this, and that's good enough for me, Samantha.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Samantha. Appreciate it. All
You're
right.
welcome. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye.
It'd be tough to if you I've had people in my family who swore they had this capability, but it's hard. Preston, every time we'd be at one of these ghost tours, in the other room something would happen, and we'd be like, what?
I know. Hey, we got to do this before we do anything else. Here we go.
Here it is, MMR's Yoo-Hoo Loot. Now, listen up. Here's your keyword.
By the way, Steve, that's how you will communicate with the other side after you pass away.
Did you do? Bro, something.
Bro,
Did you hear that?
Said you who?
All right, the word is loud. L-O-U-D. You have until 15 minutes after the hour to enter it. There are 3 ways to enter the word loud. You can text in the special contest short code number, which is 45911, or enter it via the MMR app or at WMMR.com. One random entry wins $1,000 in our company-wide contest, and each winner gets a call from Beasley, so be sure that you answer your phone. Contest rules available at WMMR.com, and it is sponsored by Horizon Services. Again, the word is loud, L-O-U-D. We'll give you until 15 minutes after the hour. We have all our phone lines lit up. Unfortunately, we got to take a break. I apologize to those of you who have been on hold, but time-wise, we got to break and come back. We haven't even done the Bizarre File
That's
yet.
right. PrestonSteve.com for the video and the full list if you want to check out the horror list, and there's a whole bunch of stuff.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to break. We'll be back in a second. Stay with us, my friend. We got a lot of stuff happening this morning. Good luck.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Of where you are, you know, right then and there. You're in Disneyland,
the happiest place on earth.
Come on, look around you, see where you are. Shut up. But some people are just, some people are just a-holes.
It just kills me in this one because there was another one, Preston. I forget it was at like a kids park. It was like an amusement park. It very well may have been Disney World. And this one's great because the woman in the mobility scooter in that one, Kathy, she doesn't get up, but she starts using her mobility scooter to join the fight. She's backing up and ramming the brawling people.
So apparently this one, they're all in the same family. They're all related.
What?
Yeah.
What?
So this is an ongoing investigation. No arrests have been made, but there was infighting that had begun outside of the park, and the fight just continued inside the park.
No arrests?
No arrests. They all knew each other.
Ridiculous.
Well, not yet anyway, Case. They said the investigation's ongoing. But
after they viewed the video, now they're looking at potentially.
Because then that guy
I saw
goes on.
everything. I saw it all. It was a mess.
But then the guy goes on to slap another woman and take her to the ground.
Kathy, he doesn't just slap her. I mean, and this is horrifying, but he gives her a haymaker.
Just some unwritten rules, right? Like
protocol.
Yeah, protocol.
You don't fire on someone else's bitch.
No, you don't.
Not in Toontown.
Not in Toontown, man. You take that to Epcot.
I think, Casey, of your story at the 4th of July parade all the time.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
And the bending down and addressing them as a father to kids who needed to be addressed by their father. But like you get in that mentality sometimes, and this is a place where that can happen.
You can have an Independence Day from life.
Oh, I totally understand.
I'm gonna make you independent of your life.
But on the outside, everybody else.
Hey,
is like,
what a good dad.
Oh, you were. Oh, you poor thing. You're so upset. You better stop crying.
Don't cry. Don't even let him know you're in pain.
A former Cape Breton University student says that she regrets not making a formal complaint 3 years ago against a professor who was fired this summer for demanding moose meat, lobster, and sex from a student in exchange for better grades.
In that order?
Moose meat, lobster, and sex.
All right, you don't have moose meat. You don't have lobster.
You got any lobster?
Sex. All right, look, how about sex?
She said,
Wait, I found some moose meat. Yeah!
She said, I wish I did something back then. I wish I got him fired, Jess Hardy said. Then the situation wouldn't have happened. She was a first-year student and said that Shamal Fernaduple made inappropriate comments and suggestions.
You're going to ruin the day, Fernaduple.
And her appearance, and implied that he wanted a sexual relationship with her, and he would say inappropriate things all the time. Now, unfortunately, as the story goes on, it never gets into the details about the moose meat and lobster.
Well, it's a bizarre
That's what I'm
pecking
most
order.
interested in.
Right, yes. You don't understand.
But they ended up firing this guy because he apparently did.
Was it the moose meat?
To a couple of students. It was the moose meat.
He's there in front of the dean. It was the moose meat, wasn't it? Well, actually, the number 3 on the list here, the sex.
So apparently he wasn't only demanding sex, but moose meat and lobster.
I should have stopped at lobster.
And they fired him. So there you go. That's all I have in the
It's
details.
like he's looking for something to round out the list.
Yeah.
And the sex.
Yeah. So I was surprised the other day when my daughter came to me and described a very specific detail of what I'm assuming. I don't know if it's a social class or if it's just a fashion or what.
Huh.
But I was like, okay, this is all new to me, and I've forgotten what the full description is. So if anybody wants to call in, if you're familiar with this term, but Visco girls?
Visco girls.
Yeah. And that's spelled VSCO.
Yeah.
Visco, you've heard of this, Nick?
I have. I hadn't heard of it until Friday. And so I learned about it just as recently as you did, Preston. Visco,
From Ben?
No, from BuzzFeed, of all places.
Okay.
I read an article about it. I saw Visco online somewhere, right, as about a post. I didn't know what those letters meant, VSCO.
Yeah, I still don't know.
It's an app, and it stands for Visual Supply Company, right? And, the reason that I know that it's an app is that my girlfriend does some photography on the side, and she's used this app to process photos. What girls now are doing, Preston, is they're taking this app and they are applying it to their social media posts, and now it's also become its own social media thing.
Nick, look at this top text. Do you know what that means? Okay, so it just says SK. Apparently, they go around going.
Wait,
like that.
okay, well,
Okay.
so-
So the crickets. Visco.
So what is it?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out. Our phone lines are lighting up, so we'll find out in a minute.
Really, it's
right. That's what it is.
As far as social status goes, it's a new thing for this school year. It's brand new. But
How is it social status though?
because it's a look. So basically,
it's a look.
If you are a Visco girl, you are you kind of look like you came from the beach. You wear scrunchies around your wrist.
Scrunchies are a big thing.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You carry
on your wrist.
You carry around a hydro flask. And you have a natural look, Kathy. So you don't go heavily made up.
So like Renee Zellweger.
So it's not like a filter that is.
It is. Yeah. So the Visco app is a filter that you can apply, but it's a lighter filter. So sometimes Instagram models will go very heavy on their filters, right?
Right.
And so you look incredibly made up, and you will take an Instagram app and you'll use that app to change your look essentially on your social media post.
It happens all the time.
Visco girls, Steve, don't do that. They go the opposite route. They go very natural,
completely raw,
very light makeup,
unfiltered.
Yeah, and there are two essential settings on the Visco app that you use for your look. And now it's translated from this app to real life.
Okay.
Wow, man, Preston. So when in school we had Crisco girls, we had a lot of fried chicken.
Yeah. Sure.
Crisco girl.
They would bring fried chicken to school.
Yeah, those are Crisco girls.
Crisco girls.
Yeah.
My
Florence Henderson was a Crisco. Westonality.
And Steve, there we go.
That's Crisco girl.
It's them eating the skin off of the chicken. So Caroline, my daughter, was wearing a shirt and it was too long. She's like, I'm tucking this in because I don't want to look like a Visco girl. Not that meaning that she doesn't want to be one, but it looks like you're not wearing pants.
Not wearing pants. Okay,
yeah,
I've
that
seen
you're
this.
not wearing shorts.
I've seen this. I've seen the looking like you're not wearing shorts.
Where did that look? That look has been around before.
No, but I've recently seen it pick up, and I'm like, look at these kids. Like their shorts are so short that they look like they're not wearing any.
My dad was a Visco girl before anyone knew. He just wear a long coat and shorts.
Yeah.
You also might have known them as flashers.
Yeah.
Case, is your daughter into it? Or is she Visco? What do you say? Help me out here, guys.
She's a Delco girl.
She's a Delco girl, Kath. You know what? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how new this scene is, but here's the deal. My kids go to Catholic schools, so they all wear the same thing at school. And then we just got done in the summer, and we were down the beach all the time.
I saw a text that this is supposed to be camera sound.
Oh my God! I love it. I want to be a Visco boy.
I always wore big clothes. There was a period of time where we looked like we were 900 pounds only because we wore oversized
baggy
clothes.
stuff. Baggy stuff.
Who decided all this stuff? All these various things together make this. You know what I mean?
A Visco girl.
Yeah.
I think it's just a style. I keep relating it to the hippie. It's just
It
the
is,
hippie
but
like
somebody had to put these pieces together. They don't necessarily, automatically go together.
The thing, Preston, that you're reacting to, and I think I agree, is because things like this would happen over the course of a little while. And like in school, going to school, you start to see people adopting something, and there'd be a movie or there'd be something that they would, or a musician or somebody they're responding to. But this seems to, for a lot of the people are saying from 0 to 60.
I know.
Because of social media.
It's like now this isn't a fashion thing, but it was an accessory people had. Remember the fidget spinners?
Oh, yeah.
Like that took off in 10 minutes.
Boom.
And everybody had them, and then they were gone.
Look at this. Visco Girl Starter Pack.
You can buy this
$150
for $150.
Should we get it, guys?
It says Giant Visco Starter Pack.
Preston, we need to be Crisco boys.
Scrunchies, Crocs,
I like those tie-dye Crocs.
What else? There's the shorts and oversized shirt. What do you see?
No, Kathy liking the Crocs now.
I like the tie-dye
Just
Crocs.
like 10 minutes ago, she's like, not for adults.
Oh, well, no, I wouldn't buy them and wear them.
But Steve, it's funny because you were talking about how these things, how they can happen so quickly. When people are getting back to school this week and they come home demanding the scrunchies, that means that like this thing is taken off and they want to be like all the other people who are in the group.
That's funny.
Some people are texting in, and I've gotten some emails that there is a phrase that goes along, not just the SK one, I oop.
I oop.
I don't know what that means.
There's another one, Nick.
That's
no, no, that's mine. You can't have that.
I oop.
But I oop is a
Can
thing.
we make that part of the Crisco boys?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's allowed. But
All right, how's I oop spelled?
I oop is I, the letter I, and then OOP.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Again, it says I oop. Here, there's a I oop can be used as a reaction to express sudden surprise or shock over an unexpected situation. That's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
For example, you can say it if someone calls someone else out on social media in a mic drop moment, as in I oop. Okay.
Because it says here, honestly, who says mic drop anymore? That's old now.
That's so old.
Nick, you know that I love you, but I do find it a little creepy that you know the most about this.
Well,
anyone
he
on
looked
the
it up
show.
on BuzzFeed. Research. Yeah, no, I stalk 12-year-olds.
Yeah, do you want to hear it?
Interesting. Oh, yeah.
Jasmine
thanks.
Masters, I think.
All right.
I crashed in my back seat for a couple of hours, and
All right, okay.
And that's funny.
And,
Okay.
And hence the beginning of a new phrase.
Wow,
Bizarre.
Sitting on your balls created a thing.
Where some things come from
And yet
how they take off.
We can't get to take off.
Nobody can pronounce it.
And it's very hard.
That's the only thing.
I
Too many
it's much
syllables.
easier. All
Although I got a text from somebody who says I'm 27 and I just found out I'm a Visco girl.
it's like going and looking at your X-rays.
Yeah.
I have some bad news. You're a Visco girl.
What would be some positive workplace habits? It doesn't give any examples here at all. So I'm wondering what we could do. Maybe some yoga or something like that.
Well, let's assess.
Maybe like clean up your area.
Are you talking to me?
No, I was just saying that's like a positive workplace.
I just
moved
knew.
all my stuff in there. It's a mess.
This morning, Kathy goes to me. She goes, "Oh, your area looks really nice, Steve." And Preston goes, "Oh, what about mine?"
Mine's just an absolute. It looks like an atom bomb went off.
It actually looks worse than the old office.
I haven't done anything. I just dragged all my crap in here.
Listen, I was
and
not
set
talking to you.
And
I was just saying in
Steve,
general.
your area looks very nice.
That's pretty mean.
Steve came in over the weekend and worked on his.
I did. Whereas Preston just poured it his
I
over.
just brought my
Didn't have
stuff over
chance.
and left it. I'm going to work on it today.
I was just complimenting Steve because the shelving in the new office was made specifically for his guys. Like,
Yes, my Batman.
It looks so nice. I wasn't saying it.
Kathy did it in the way where you're talking to one person, but your mouth is actually towards someone else who you want to make sure they hear that particular statement.
Your part of the office looks much better. The cleanly, orderly way you've approached your workspace is impressive.
I swear, I was not saying it because yours was messy.
It did feel good to purge, like
Oh my God, I
getting
love
rid of a
it.
lot of stuff. And I found files from like 2008, 2009 when we moved into that office.
I found that puppy I never gave Marissa.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Listen, to make me realize how long we've been in that office, I've had some stuff hanging in my area on the wall space there, notes that my sons wrote to me.
Oh, yeah.
In little kid
That's
handwriting
cute.
of Daddy, I love you. I hope you have a nice day. I mean, that's how long we've been in that room. We've been in that room for 15 years.
And it does mean a lot because we started when we came here. First off, so that was not initially our first.
I guess
office
it hasn't been 15 years.
Yeah.
It's been at least a dozen years,
right?
though, but
because we're in it was Kathy, you, and I were in that small office that used to be a closet. Yeah.
So here's another thing that you can do to help get past the post-holiday vacation back to work blues. Don't dwell.
Okay.
Don't dwell.
Yeah. Don't feel sorry.
Lou, I couldn't help but noticing that you're dwelling. Isn't that obvious?
Doesn't dwell mean to just live, just to, just to
sort of
stay in one
ruminate,
place?
yeah.
Hanging out.
Don't dwell. Don't feel sorry for yourself, it says. Start some new office habits. This is how to beat the post-holiday...
Should you clean your office area?
The post-holiday vacation back-to-work blues. Clean your damn office.
On 93.3 WMMR.
Apologies. It is 8:16, and we haven't even gotten to the bizarre file yet. So sorry about that. We'll get in and out with this, and then we'll move along. But I do have some stories that I think you will like.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you by Red Robin. Choose any style Red Robin double tavern. Yeah, Red Robin Tavern Double Burger. There you go. With bottomless fries and drink for just $10. This deal is ending really soon, so get it before it's gone. Dine in only at participating locations in PA. Red Robin.
Yum. I harmonized on that.
Yeah, you did. A hunter accidentally shot himself in the leg while trying to fight off a grizzly bear attack in west central Wyoming.
God damn, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Oh, man. All right, I'm letting you live.
The second such attack in a week's time. Maybe that's the defense. You shoot yourself in the limb, and the bear will let you live.
You gotta be kidding me.
Lee Francis was taken to the University of Utah. Utah Health Hospital for treatment after the encounter on Friday. Francis was hunting with his son in an area south of Grand Teton National Park on Friday evening when the bear attacked him. He was able to fire several rounds from his handgun, causing the bear to run away, but one of the rounds hit Francis in the lower leg. His son used a satellite phone to call for help and then began providing first aid. His son was able to help his father onto a horse, and they headed toward a nearby lake to meet search and rescue crews. He was eventually taken to the hospital.
That's not how you do a tourniquet. Let me help you here.
Taken to the hospital via helicopter.
You guys are pathetic. Don't ever come back to the woods again.
Wildlife officials have not located the grizzly bear because it was snowing. Game and Fish plan to try to search for the bear again today. I have another bear story for you. A Washington state woman escaped a bear attack outside her home with injuries on Saturday morning after she hit it in the face.
In the face?
Yeah, the unnamed woman was charged by an adult female black bear. She was letting her dog out. She sustained non-life-threatening injuries and was taken to an area hospital. The bear was killed later that morning by wildlife officers, and 2 cubs were captured and taken to a wildlife rehabilitation facility. Wildlife biologist Rich Bazzoli said that the woman made the right call by attacking the bear after she was knocked to the ground. He said she didn't see it coming, so she could not make herself big, clap her hands, yell at the bear, wave her arms.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Those are the things.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, and you want the world to know it, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. I hate your dog.
No! Hey! That's not how the song goes.
I ate your dog.
He said those are the things we usually tell people to do. Wave their arms, clap their hands, yell at the bear. If the bear knocks you down, then yes, your solution is to fight. He said it was just instinct for her. She
Defensive Macarena.
Turned around and popped it right in the nose. The woman reportedly told authorities after she hit the bear that it shook and then took off. Wildlife officials said the bear was put down because it was overweight, indicating that it had likely eaten leftovers and trash. They shot him just because he was overweight. Well, anyway.
Well, they do that at some of the gyms.
Yep. This is terrible. A Tennessee grandfather fell to his death during a skydiving accident at a high school football game Friday evening as startled onlookers watched.
Oh, my God.
The 55-year-old experienced skydiver was participating in a pregame ceremony event at the annual Musket Bowl, a football game held between David Crockett High School and Daniel Boone High School, when he was injured upon landing. The victim was airlifted to an area hospital where he was pronounced dead. All the skydivers taking part in the pregame stunt were expert divers with the group called TN Jump. They did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Students and staff that need to have mental health support will get it at the school. All right, this is a more fun story. A Kentucky man named Josh Nally has revealed that he got casted on CSI to play dead after doing so on TikTok for 321 days. Nally has never acted a day in his life, but recently told the Courier-Journal how he got the role. He said, I got an email from CBS that said that they had seen me on TikTok and wanted to offer me the part. At first, I didn't believe it, but they flew me out to California. It turned out that Mario Van Peebles was the director of the episode, so besides getting cast in the show, I also got to meet him, which was great.
It's awesome.
According to USA Today, Nally works as a restaurant manager, but started to take his craft seriously and spent the last year making daily posts and explaining to his followers that he's looking to make it in a movie or television show. So he would every day take a video of himself posing as a dead body.
Right.
In different positions. So that's what he was doing. He said, I don't like speaking on camera, but I can lie there and act like I'm dead pretty easily. Having done more than 300 of these posts, I've progressed and gotten better. At first, you could see me breathing or the fake blood looked really bad. I've gotten rid of using the blood and gotten better at holding my breath. And I figured out that it's best to have some kind of movement in the video so it doesn't look like a still photograph. One of my dogs still seems curious about what I'm up to. The other one just kind of wanders by and then wanders off. He got the role that the producers took him to the Hollywood Walk of Fame to do what he does best and lay down and play dead. He said they wanted me to pose next to Marg Hellenberger's star and had asked me to bring a towel to lay on the floor because it was really dirty, but I forgot.
Well, he keeps making mention in these posts about wanting a role as to get an actual role, so that's pretty smart.
Yep, so rather than lie face down, he said, I turned over on my side and played dead. The thing was the sidewalk was really, really hot. It took nearly 2 hours to film his part, but he got a roll out of it. Pretty funny. All right, and there you go. That's what we're going to wrap the bizarre file with. I had mentioned this earlier this morning, and I think I want to give this away now.
Now?
Yeah,
Okay.
why not, right?
Yeah.
We have the Tailgate Tuesday Primo and Michelob Ultra prize pack for caller number 17 at 215-263-WMMR. I'm going to give you a $100 Primo Hoagies gift card and a case of Michelob Ultra.
Nice.
It's from Primo Hoagies. Watching the game with some friends this week. Score big with Primo Hoagies. It's not just Hoagies, it's Primo and Michelob Ultra. The superior light beer containing only 95 calories and 2.6 carbs. Michelob Ultra produces a light citrus aroma and a crisp, refreshing finish. Caller 17, it's yours. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
That's too close to dwelling.
Seriously.
Where's the delineation between reflecting and dwelling?
You're not supposed to dwell. However, you should reflect.
God damn it, Earl, I was reflecting.
Looked like you were dwelling.
Well, I wasn't. You nosy ass.
So it says here.
Gentlemen, what? Well, he's always saying I'm dwelling. I was clearly reflecting. My head was up with my chin cocked a little bit to the left. That's reflecting.
That's reflecting.
Dwelling is hands on the temples down.
Yes, yes, chin down. That would be dwelling.
You idiot.
Yeah. Lily Allen and Stranger Things star David Harbour dating.
This is way better.
I had to look up Lily Allen, and I still don't know who she is. Is she a singer?
I believe so, right?
I think
don't know.
she's
a dancer.
Oh, no.
No, she was a dancer.
She's a dancer.
Oh, my God.
Stop.
Oh, I like her.
Oh, her brother's Alfie Allen from Game of Thrones.
And Lily Allen is from a while. She had career was on fire about 8 years ago, 9 years ago.
Her brother is Theon Greyjoy.
Yes.
From Game of Thrones, and she's a singer. No,
she was a dancer.
Jinx, oh my God! Honestly, is she a singer?
She's a singer.
All right.
Her brother is Marcus Allen.
Honestly.
And Preston, is she a singer?
Yeah, she's a singer.
I'm not doing it.
Why not? No, she was a dancer.
Jinx, oh my God!
Stop. Gets worse.
Okay, I thought she was an actress.
No, she's a singer.
No, she was a dancer.
Jinx, oh my God!
Okay.
She had a couple of hits. She was at yes. What are some of her hits? We all know her hits.
Well, the girl that we're looking
birthday.
the girl that we have up in this photo, I think, is the actress that I looked up on IMDb.
No,
this
that's
morning.
the singer.
No, she was a dancer.
No, she was a dancer.
Jinx, oh my God!
Lily Allen, for Christ's sake, she's a musician, right?
Okay.
Are we looking up two different people?
There are a ton of acting credits for
No, those are soundtrack.
someone named Lily Allen. Those are soundtrack.
Yeah. Those are not acting credits.
Okay. We all
She was an
clear?
actor?
Are we clear? No. She's a singer.
She has a song called "F.U."
Okay. Yes, I know that one. All right.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyhow, they might be dating, her and David Harbour. Londoners have spotted the two out, hanging out, and of course posted about it on social media. Somebody wrote, David Harbour, when on earth did this happen? And it was alongside a screenshot of her, of her TV screen showing the couple at a boxing event.
Huh, good for him.
They first sparked rumors earlier this month when they were spotted taking in a West End performance of the Lehman trilogy.
Are we good enough friends with him now to just blow a call in?
Of course we
yes?
are.
Yeah.
What time is it in London?
We did have a really good time with him.
Yeah.
He was noon. Super nice guy. Yeah.
So he's probably up.
Yeah, we give him a call.
Hello?
Yeah. David.
Yeah, David, it's Preston and Steve. Are you dating Lily Allen?
Yeah.
She's a singer, right?
No, she was a dancer.
Thanks.
Oh my God!
What are Casey and Kathy doing on this call?
We just had to do that. We had to do that because this is funny.
Okay, bye.
Okay, Woody Allen, maybe persona non grata in Hollywood, but Scarlett Johansson would work with him anytime. The A-lister is one of the few stars to publicly signal her support for the director.
He was the original choice for Captain America.
I did not realize that he would actually...
I don't think the serum worked.
Yeah.
I don't feel very super.
He was the original guy.
Yeah. Imagine that. The thing opens up. Have I changed dramatically? He comes out worse.
Yeah. They go the opposite direction.
He got older.
He's aged. His eyesight has gone bad. He's wearing glasses. Now his hair's falling out.
Ready to take on the Nazis.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan, personally, of their conduct.
Several stars.
He reach over. He just looks over. Stark's father reaches over and had the lever all the way to the wrong side. I'm sorry. I had it on skinnier. I should have pushed it to muscular.
Several stars, including Frida Pinto, Greta Gerwig, Colin Firth, and Mira Sorvino, expressed regret at working with him previously and pledged to never work with him again. But when the Hollywood Reporter asked Johansson, who worked with him on Match Point, Vicky Cristina Barcelona, and Scoop, she had nothing but good things to say about the 83-year-old, whose daughter, of course, accused him of sexual assault. He's denied all this stuff, but she said, how do I feel about Woody Allen? I love Woody, she told the Hollywood Reporter. I believe him, and I would work with him anytime. She said, I see Woody whenever I can, and I have had a lot of conversations with him about it. I have been very direct with him, and he's been very direct with me. He maintains his innocence, and I believe him.
Well, that's her prerogative to take it that way, and that's okay.
She said, but she also understands why others don't. She said it's hard because it's a time where people are very fired up, and understandably, things needed to be stirred up, and so people have a lot of passion, a lot of strong feelings, and are angry, and rightfully so. It's an intense time.
What a missed opportunity that they could have worked in the Avengers films together. It would have been so great.
I ran into somebody who works in our office, and I'd asked her what she did the night before. Maybe it was over the weekend. She's like, yeah, well, I went to an I Do barbecue, and blah, blah, blah. This is kind of skated over there. I'm like, hang on a second. What's an I Do barbecue? You guys ever heard of that before?
No, but I haven't.
Like an engagement party?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
I'm gonna vomit.
But only for people in the wedding party.
Right. Okay.
So
It's kind of where they do they ask them to be in the wedding party? Like that's part of the event.
I'm not really sure.
So I've been to like where they invite the bridal party over, and that's you're at a party, and they ask you to be in the bridal party. So
is that what that is?
You're going to a party, and you don't actually know yet until you get
to the party,
right.
And then they say, by the way, you're all going to be in.
Or they ask you, yeah.
Okay.
So do attendees they don't know until some point in the evening when.
I mean, I think for my brothers, I knew I was going to be in my brother's wedding, but
Right.
yes, and then they gave us a bottle of wine, and on the wine, she had put in like a cute little saying asking us to be, it was a custom made wine label, and then it was a cute saying asking us to be in the wedding.
I would attend I'd prefer not barbecue.
I actually never liked the idea of an engagement party, and so. You can put a cute little name on it, right, and make things rhyme. And I'm not going to like it or dislike it any more or any less.
Well, that's what they do, though. Yeah, that's what whoever they are.
There must be some counselor, commissioner, somebody who puts together with the gender reveal stuff now. That went from 0 to 60.
Now, I'm wondering where this started because there's an article on the knot.com, right, which is a wedding magazine and a wedding website. And so do you think that they wrote the article thinking that this might be a thing, or did they write the article because it already was a thing?
I think probably they can help boost it by reporting on it.
Right.
All the not readers. But I don't know. Usually, something has to have a little bit of traction before you report on it, right?
So yeah, I would think so. But so you have an engagement party, okay?
Okay.
You have, I guess now, an I do barbecue. You have to have a rehearsal dinner.
The rehearsal dinner is to me, isn't that that's the wedding party gathering,
That's
right?
what I always thought it was.
Well, but not anymore, because now if you have out-of-town guests, if you're going by their rules, you have to invite the out-of-town guests to the rehearsal dinner.
Right.
So, but out-of-town guests who are in the wedding party aren't expected to attend the I do barbecue,
I think the I do barbecue is taking over the engagement party. I don't think you're having an I do barbecue and you're having an engagement party. I think it's sort of one or the other.
Really?
Yeah.
But you would only invite.
An I do barbecue is an engagement party.
Yeah, but you're only inviting the people that would be in your wedding party.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't know if that's the case. I'm just saying that is also, I've been to parties where they only invite the bridal party.
Because let's say you have a big engagement party or your I do barbecue, but you're only inviting some of the people that are there.
Invite people can be in the direct wedding party.
But let's say you have like 50 people there, but you're only inviting like 7 of them to be in your wedding party. That's kind of insulting to the other people that show up.
Not really. That's like saying you have to put every single friend in your bridal party. I think you know who's.
But if you're at a party and you're not part of the list there.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I'll just be waiting over here.
Yeah.
No.
Enjoy your being celebrated by the bride and groom, and I'll just stand over here and have my fruit.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
So you have all these parties. What are the ones involved with having a baby? There's a shower.
The
right?
barber bris.
The barber bris.
But listen, like the I do barbecue and the gender reveal, I think are kind of organized so that you don't have to bring a gift. You're not bringing a gift to. Do you know what I'm saying?
A gender reveal?
Yeah, like it's more set up like the barbecue. Like come over for a barbecue. You don't quite know what it is, but whereas an engagement party is. If you show up without a gift, or at least for me, if I showed up without a gift, I would feel awkward.
All right, hang on. I just saw a text that came over. It said Connor Betts, he's an assistant producer here, went to an I Do barbecue. I'd like to know if he brought a gift with him to the I Do barbecue. Because, Kathy, I think you have to bring a gift to an I Do barbecue.
I don't know. Here, Connor's.
All right, we need an explanation, clarification, in case I, by some stretch of the imagination, get invited to an I Do barbecue. I want to know what to do.
Connor?
I did not bring a gift.
Okay.
Were you aware that it was an I Do barbecue before you attended?
Yes.
Okay, so that is the premise of the I Do barbecue when it was presented to you that you were coming because you were going to be asked to be a part of this wedding party?
Yes, and I was not a part of the wedding.
All right, did your girlfriend bring a gift?
No.
Okay.
So when you went.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like the gender reveal is to come. We're all finding out together what the baby is going to be. You're not going to bring a gift to that. The baby shower. Yes, that's the point of a baby shower. Your friends, your family, they're bringing gifts so that you can be prepared for when the baby comes.
Connor prefers to be called Moose.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
That's just a nickname from high school.
Oh, I did not know that.
High school into college, and everybody calls me.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I didn't know that. Nice to meet you, Moose.
So Moose, what was it like at the I Do barbecue?
Well, I didn't bring a gift, one, because they are wealthy and I am poor.
Right.
So I think my mom might have brought a gift, but I didn't.
And so who with the cluster that you attended, who was asked to be in the bridal party?
It was my friend's brother's engagement party, I guess. So then we were all friends with him, and it was a bunch of my friends, and then I was not asked.
Did they line you up?
I was backup.
Did they line you up in a row and then yes, no? Yes.
Yeah, it's like picking for kickball.
Right, right? No. And then, Connor, you're there with the caterer standing there.
Yeah, it was me and the caterer and the dog.
Right, yeah.
On the side.
These are the ones who will not be in our wedding party. Shame them.
Sorry, Moose.
Why don't you forget the moose for a moment?
But you didn't go to the party expecting to be asked to be in the bridal party, right? Yeah.
Not even a little bit?
No.
it's
With
not
how
just-
good
not
you
every-
look in a gown?
You don't have every friend you know in your bridal party.
No, but I'm saying this seems oddly. It is like being picked for teams in school.
No.
And you're left out of it.
No.
It's like, why not break up into shirts and skins?
Well, I had never heard the term "I do barbecue" before, but apparently that's another one to add to the list with your gender reveals, your
Right.
sprinkles, your showers, your engagement
golden
parties,
showers.
your golden showers, the
I mean,
butterscotch bandits,
and that's fine.
overcomers.
Guys, you're combining things that
It's
don't.
disgusting.
It's not.
Yeah, Overcomer was a
We're
movie.
here
that
for
opened.
the Hot Carl party.
What were you gonna say, guys?
I just don't make your wedding more special than it really is.
Yeah.
You know,
Or do it since it's your wedding.
yeah.
Don't make it more special than it really is.
Because it might end up in a murder-suicide, you know?
Wow.
You're not special. This day isn't special.
It might end up in that should
They
go on
had
a
an I do
Hallmark card.
barbecue.
They had
and
an I-
now he's dead.
Congratulations, it might end up in a murder-suicide.
I'm Keith Morrison. Started with
Yes,
an
good call. Less than 2 weeks
Because
from
I was
today.
about to start pooping.
Sorry about that. Yes. But it's rapidly approaching, and we want you to be a part of it. We want you to donate. We want you to take advantage of the stuff we're going to be doing, which we will be in the morning, in the evening. Ain't we got fun? So please check our website at WMMR.com. Let's have a look at traffic and see what's happening. Kath, what you got for us?
Yeah, it's fairly busy on every major roadway. We have a couple of accidents and things to watch out for. On the Schuylkill eastbound, that's slowing 202 into Belmont Boulevard to the Vine, westbound past Young to the Vine, the Boulevard out to Gladwin, Pennsylvania Turnpike westbound jams Route 1 to Willow Grove. That's an accident. Also westbound slowing from Virginia Drive to Fort Washington. 30 bypass eastbound, heavy Reeseville Road to 113. 95 southbound, heavy Woodhaven to Bridge Street. Once you get to the Vine westbound, that's slowing 95 to Broad. And then from the Ben Franklin Parkway to the Schuylkill Expressway, the Boulevard southbound, heavy Broad to Wissahickon. We've got an accident in White Marsh Township. It's Bethlehem Pike at Pennsylvania Avenue. Also Baltimore Pike at Vassar Avenue in Springfield. WMMR.
Thank you, Kathy. Mystery caller on the phone line. It's Andrew, I believe. Andrew, are you there?
Hey, bitches.
Hey. What's up, bitch? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing great, man, but you're doing better, aren't you?
A little bit.
All right, do tell us why.
Because I just won $1,000.
It feels so good. Wonderful. Andrew, happy about that for you. Where are you from, my man?
Newark, Delaware.
Newark, Delaware. What are you doing this morning? Do you have the day off, or are you actually at the workplace?
No, I'm at the job.
All right, what do you do for a living?
So wear parts for heavy machinery.
All right. Well, today, here's what you do. You just won $1,000. You walk over to that boss and you say, I'm out of here.
Maybe not life-changing money, but definitely a week or two or a month or two changing money.
Exactly.
But we're happy to give you $1,000, Andrew. So you got some good use that you'll put that money to?
Absolutely. Hookers.
Cocaine and hookers.
Our kind of guy.
Yeah. 500 for the cocaine, 500 for the hookers.
That's an evening right there.
You guys rock.
Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it. Congratulations. There he goes, another winner. Chance coming up at 10 a.m. So get yourself set for that, and we'll tell you how to do it. Very, very easy stuff, my friend. Real quick, I hope you guys don't mind. There was a it's kind of a shout out that I wanted to pass along. I got this from Christy O'Donnell. She says, hey, my son Liam is on the drum line for Downingtown West Blue and Gold Marching Band. Oh, Blue and Gold Marching Band. They competed on Saturday at U.S. Bands and won. They are the Division 5 Pennsylvania State champions.
Wow.
Yeah. She said, my exceptionally funny and huge Preston and Steve fan husband, Bill, and I volunteered in the concession stand during the event, and one of the items for sale was chili dogs.
What?
And she said,
Sucking on a chili dog.
Yeah.
Sucking on a chili dog.
She said every chili dog order led to some knowing looks and barely contained laughter. We did our best to keep it together, but at the conclusion of our shift and every hour since that we've left the stand, we cannot stop singing Tom McGovern's classic Sucking on a Chili Dog song.
Sucking on a chili dog. Sucking on a chili dog.
She said our kids think we're nuts, but we can't stop laughing. And can we get a shout out to Downingtown West Blue and Gold Band for an amazing competition, and a little shout to Bill for being so damn funny. So that's from Christy. There you go. Absolutely. That song does get stuck.
It's an earworm.
The chili dog thing. If you
Sucking on a chili dog.
focus on it.
Sucking on a chili dog.
Hey, I want to point something out. We had mentioned the Camp Out for Hunger, and I alluded to it just offhandedly earlier this morning. So we have Camp Out for Hunger 2 weeks away from yesterday. It starts, and we'll be at Xfinity Live. We'll be right there in the heart of the sports complex, and there's a possibility that there could be a parade that ends there. Now, I don't want to put the cart before the horse.
No. But we have to plan for these things.
For these types of things.
And we had a little conversation, and it is something that needs to be considered. Don't want to jinx anything?
No.
But you got to be practical.
So what would have to happen to have the parade occur while we are there? Do you know, Nick?
Yeah, so, I mean, the Phils have home games on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. So that's Halloween and then the 1st and the 2nd of November. And I think essentially it would have to go, the World Series would have to go 6 or 7 games. Game 6, if necessary, would be Friday the 4th in Houston. Game 7, if necessary, would be Saturday the 5th in Houston. And so I think if the Phils win the World Series, and if they do it in 6 games, the city probably would have the parade on that Monday. I think that they would allow the Phillies a day to get back, celebrate, recover from the hangover,
right,
and then not do it on a Sunday. And Casey brought up a good point yesterday. Tuesday of Camp Out for Hunger Week is Election Day, so they probably won't do it on election day.
Good point.
Which means that they probably would do it the first day of Camp Out for Hunger, which is Monday, November 7th.
Do you think they would bump it to Wednesday?
They might do it on Wednesday.
They might,
Either way, we'll be there.
But so the last time the Phillies won the World Series in 2008, they won on Wednesday night, which was the 29th, and then the parade itself was just 2 days later, less than 2 days later, on Halloween, Friday the 31st.
The greatest thing about that would be, for us personally, is we wouldn't have to worry about parking.
Yes.
Because we'd already be there.
We would be there.
We would be there.
Now, that's where it would end, right? Isn't that where it ended in 09?
Yeah, it ended at the ballpark, and they had the party there afterwards, and we were celebrating at Club Risque.
We were talking about, perhaps yesterday in the meeting, that it would be titled the Preston and Steve World Series Parade.
That's what we would call it.
Featuring the Philadelphia Phillies.
Right, yes. Think we can work on that.
I think
We
so.
can convince them of that.
Do you realize all the confluence of things that are going on? I mean, first off,
God,
it's going to be back 100%, and then some. So we're going to have the camp out that you love, plus a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah,
in
our
many different.
tent was a little smaller last year. It was getting back to regular, but now it's going to be the old
Full
biggie.
blown. And then we're adding on the Sunday before the whole camp out begins, the Burger Brawl and
the Phila Trunk Camp Out Car Show.
Yes,
is happening there.
Yeah,
at the sports complex, and right there.
I will be there. Casey, you will be there judging Burger Brawl.
Yeah, I'll be there.
And then I'm going to bring Tupperware, Preston, so we can put some burgers in the refrigerator in the RV.
Excellent.
Which is unnecessary, really.
Yeah, but you got to do it. And so all of that going on, bigger fireworks, food trucks and fireworks, everything is amped up. So it's I'm getting very excited now and also terrified.
What's the sports schedule that week?
Flyers, Phillies on not Phillies. Sixers on Monday night. Flyers on Tuesday.
Yeah, Flyers are on Tuesday against the St. Louis Blues.
Oh my God!
So,
oh my God!
Yeah, Craig Berube will be in town, and we'll try and get Craig to stop by. I think Tuesday morning is going to be sort of a Flyers day. Also, we were talking about this in the meeting yesterday. Our engineering department and promotions department has a lot less time to set up everything at the Camp Out for Hunger because the Phils will be home on Monday, Tuesday, and possibly Wednesday. So they're going to have a massive time crunch.
Kathy, the hours that they're pulling, that they're going to have to pull to get that executed. It's like almost around the clock.
Well, it's a good thing that we've spent months and months kind of sitting in meetings and planning things.
I am the least prepared of any Camp Out for Hunger ever. I was telling Casey this yesterday. And then again, we say that every year leading into it. We try to get our ducks in a row, and like the week of, we're like, oh my God, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I'm not ready
came
for
up
this.
so
Blah, blah,
fast.
blah, 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 blah. And we've been having meetings for months, but I still feel woefully unprepared for this one.
Can't we just tell the Phillies, like, we had this plan first?
Yeah, I think they would.
I think
They would
they would
gladly
go for it.
accept the backseat. It's also, we left out, the 25th anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
It's our 25th Camp Out for Hunger, so it's a big number.
It is a big number.
Number. So we're doing what we can to get ready for this, but there's a lot of things. I've got some personal things going on in my life that I'm juggling right now, too, that are just adding to the overburdened sensation that I'm
Right. But, you always rise to the challenge. I will say this, perhaps at this point, and we usually do this in the past, Preston, because it is the 25th. Or if there's anything you think you can bring to the camp out, that you think is going to be of interest or whatever, let us know. And if you were there for the first one, way back, at the Adams mark years ago, we were Y100. We want to make this a homecoming for that, and we also want to see newbies out there.
So are you saying you want to do like a show and tell thing with listeners?
Anything,
Bringing
yeah.
things
Go
out?
ahead. If you have a goat that can ride a golf cart.
Oh yeah. Well, listening to
Fleetwood Mac.
Yes, that would be great.
I think it's a great idea if we can make that happen. We should see if we could get an orangutan out to drive a golf cart.
Maybe they can drive us back and forth.
I mean, are you serious? We should see if we can do that.
Yes.
Oh, I do have my scooters.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, I got all 3 of them.
Oh, yeah. We used those at the blood drive.
Mm-hmm.
Those were fun.
Should I bring those?
Bring them.
Okay.
Yeah, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, it's all right with me.
All right. Anyway, it's coming up, and we are less than 2 weeks away. Details at WMMR.com. It's just crazy to believe that it's going to be here already, and all
Absolutely.
these things are going
And they're
on.
throwing a big parade for us during the week.
That whole thing. Wow. We have a couple pieces of audio to play.
Yeah.
There was a sweet story about a flight attendant, and I wanted to play this audio.
This is Preston's Heroes.
It's on a Canadian. She was on it's called the WestJet airline flight.
Right.
And the flight was from Toronto to Los Angeles. And apparently the flight attendant got onto the intercom and was talking about the fact that it was National Teachers Day in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And she expressed that on this day, people were recognizing their favorite teachers. And then she actually called out her favorite teacher who happened to be on the plane.
Yes.
Just randomly. And I want to hear this. I haven't heard it yet. I've read the story, but apparently it was pretty emotional.
It was very sweet.
Here we go.
Today is National Teachers Day. I'm going to get emotional. But today I saw my teacher from 1990, Miss O'Connell, who's here on the aircraft, who is my favorite teacher ever. And I haven't seen her since 1990. This lady made me love Shakespeare, got me to play piano. I have my master's in piano, and I can write an essay. Thank you, Miss O'Connell. I love you.
Isn't that great?
That's so cute.
And she came
Oh, wait,
over.
it's not you.
She gave her a hug. And,
it's great.
And they said they're gonna stay in touch now.
I was
That's
at
sweet.
a dedication ceremony yesterday, and it's just a nice little segue. And I'd like to mention this because Judith Shepard was a teacher at my high school and one of my mom's best friends. She passed away this year, and there was a dedication ceremony for her yesterday at Conestoga High School where I went. They have a bench in one of the courtyards that they dedicated to her. They planted a whole bunch of tulip bulbs that are gonna bloom in the spring.
That's
and
awesome.
Judith was just this incredible woman and sounds just like this teacher that this lady was describing. She was an English teacher. She taught Shakespeare, and she made such a positive impact on so many people throughout the years. And Judith was she was one of a kind. She would be a type of person when she would say, "How are you?" She literally meant, "How are you doing?" And then you would be sucked into a 4-hour conversation with her because she really wanted to know.
Dude, and that's a talent. If you can teach Shakespeare to kids and make an impact,
Yes.
that takes work.
Make an impact
And you
on
got to be good at it.
on generations of kids. There were people there that had her as a teacher when they were in high school 25 years ago. There were teachers and administrators who were there. Rich Gusick, who wrote a college recommendation for me 25 years ago.
Wow.
And Steve Eberly, who was my French teacher, also wrote one. And so all these people came out to honor this wonderful woman. It was a really cool and impactful message and a really nice ceremony for Judith yesterday.
I love the idea of a bench in someone's honor.
Yeah, it was really nice.
I'll go hiking, and sometimes you'll see.
Yeah, I like those too.
Where you can sit and just reflect, or use it as a bong. But
Sure.
it's fine. It's a sweet gesture.
They have a lot of those at the beach, like along the boardwalk, and I like those.
Yeah, very much so. And how does one go about getting one of those? I mean, do you have to?
I think you have to serve in the French Foreign Legion.
Oh, okay. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You have to pay for it?
Yeah, you got
I'm sure through the city,
The bench division.
That's a nice idea. Do they have to be dead? Or can you get one for yourself?
They should be on the edge.
I want to. Let's say I wanted to get a bench.
Not doing well.
What if I wanted to get a bench for me, just for me, alive and well and happy?
Well, until you're officially dead, they'll just put like a folding chair.
Wow, they're kind of expensive. A Memorial Park bench. We're looking at one listing here, about $650.
That's a nice one, though. When you can think of all the people that would use that and have, to me, that's a wonderful thing. I've sat on a few people while hiking over the years, and it means a lot.
Yeah, I will read. I've seen a couple that have like funny nicknames on them and stuff like that that make it kind of cute. But
Robert Benchley.
Peter Benchley.
Johnny Bench.
Johnny Bench.
Yeah.
Who's Peter Benchley?
Didn't he write Jaws?
No, Peter Benchley wrote Jaws.
Yeah, that's what
Robert
he said.
Benchley is his father, who is a humorist.
Okay. Yeah, he said Peter Benchley.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
All right. So you can get your memorial dedication through Article 6, Memorial Dedication Program through the city of North Wildwood. Okay, interesting.
Well, you're down there. I think you deserve your own bench now.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's been long enough.
I wouldn't do it in North Wildwood. That beach and everything is just going away.
Oh, you think the bench is going to end up in the ocean?
Yeah, it's going to be coral reef soon.
I have an underwater bench.
There is another clip, Casey. There's one of John Lennon from the other day.
Gotcha, right here.
And this is John futzing around with the original version of Submarine, Steve.
The word was he was the original intended singer.
Oh, okay.
And then obviously, it ended up being Ringo.
Yeah. All right, I haven't heard this. Here we go.
In the place where I was born, no one cared, no one cared, and the name when I was born.
Oh, he's still writing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No one cared, no one cared, and the town where I was born, no one cared, no one cared. If you run and you come wrong, no one cared.
All right.
No one cared.
He's working on the melody, and he's just using the "no one cared" as a placeholder for.
I like how it goes.
lyrics. Yeah.
That was not.
Yeah. Different melody.
Where I come from, no one cared, no one cared.
There was a video I saw the other day. It's of Elton John, the first time playing Tiny Dancer.
Yeah.
Bernie had given him, he still had like a crumpled up piece of paper with the words on it.
It's amazing.
And he just kind of, he goes, he's like, I've kind of put a little bit together this about Bernie's girlfriend, and I wanted to try it out. And he's saying, it kind of goes like this. And he plays through it. And for the most part, it's the structure of the song. But like this, the melody's a little bit different.
Tiny dancer, where I was born.
No one cares. No one cares.
I find that fascinating.
Oh man, in Get Back, the scene where John, where he writes Get Back.
Yes.
You see it born out of nothing, out of absolute gibberish, nothing. He hadn't even made a sketching point for it. He's literally just riffing and playing whatever's coming to mind.
Paul.
Or Paul, I'm sorry. Did I say John?
You said John.
And it just
did it. Come on, man. Give me some slack. I signed a post to the Kenny Knight.
And it just happens. It appears out of nowhere. It's amazing.
I love the concept of them using the. I remember at the Eagles documentary, they talk about hearing Jackson Brown compose a song and keep going back and tinkering. That you have the shell and that you have little pieces that you start to piece together, and so you may not even know what the lyrics are, and so I always think, well, I have this message I have to get out, and now I have to put music to it. It's not always the case.
Writing melodies is such a mystery to me. I have a guitar and I know a handful of chords, and I have tried to just piece something together. Nope.
No.
No.
Really? Never wrote a song.
Casey's going to play the one that he's written.
No, I'm not. You're gonna play.
Oh, no,
You're
I-
gonna do it right now. Come on.
I never wrote anything.
I'm just. You're gonna write it right now. Right
Dude,
now.
I haven't touched a guitar in like a year and a half. So no. Play that song that you always play.
Company,
over and
let
over and
Preston
over,
sing
you
the
know?
song while you play it.
No. I'm just. This is how greatness is born, Preston. I'm just telling
No
you.
one cares.
He's holding a guitar. He wants me to play. I don't want it.
I don't understand. Did he write a song?
I didn't write a song.
Are you guys the Lennon and McCartney of this
We
show?
are the Lennon McCartney and Preston. Says
There's a
I
little
play-
thing.
I-
There's a little thing you pick at
Write
all
it.
the time.
Play it for us.
No, I don't. It's
Play it.
Play. What do I?
No one
What do I-
cares. I'll sing along.
I don't. What do I play?
Oh, my best friend's a foot model.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know.
That's it, isn't it?
No, yeah, it is. But I need a capo.
I swear, you were singing.
Oh, you
it
need
was
a
like you
capo.
were bathed in light, Casey.
It's crazy, right?
I can't even look at you now.
I haven't strummed in months.
Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah.
I've kind of. I went back to the drums for a little while there. I was just messing with guitar, and I can only do one or the other.
Kathy, do you still pull out the steel drums at home?
I was just gonna say, don't you wish you could play something? Like I wish I could just sit down and play.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's one of the things. I played piano as a kid, and
Did you?
yeah, and
Then why are you always playing with the drums here?
well, I wished like I love the drums. I will watch a drummer at
Right,
any
yeah.
show because I love it so much. But I wish that I continued with the piano and I kept going with it.
Right. No, I did want to learn the drums as a kid, but you know the story. I won't go through it.
Played
It's
trombone.
made into a movie. Yeah.
Yeah, do we have audio of him when he was a kid playing trombone?
Yeah, I
There we
played
go.
Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
I think that
Oh,
was
you
the
did
song.
play that.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
you learned back in the
I
day.
thought he was pretty good. I mean,
Oh, yeah, it's okay.
Hang
Yeah.
on, we have that audio
Here's the
somewhere.
audio.
Yeah.
It's just futzing around.
I still, Kathy, I can teach you to play a little bit of drums. Yeah, and I've wanted to for Camp Out for Hunger to teach you how to play Highway to Hell from AC/DC. It's a very, very, very simple song, and I would love to have you play it with one of our bands, like maybe Goodman Fisk.
And I'm going to
Live on
record
the
it,
air.
and I'm going to call it Whiplash 2. That'd be great.
But
just wanna have a-
Stop yelling at me.
but we'd have to get a drum set over to Kathy's house so she could practice. That's the part of it.
I have buckets in the garage. I have Lowe's buckets.
Those will work.
yeah.
Like they play out on the street, right?
Practice though on those.
You can be busking.
Well, Jace was playing for a little bit, and that's what the guy said. Because I was like, I am not buying a drum set yet. And he was like, go get buckets,
Right.
and he can practice on them.
Oh, is that what you got him for?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can also get practice pads. It'll make a whole lot of noise, but that's not as fun. All right, there's another piece of audio I wanted to play, and apparently it's Pat Sajak talking about nipple rings.
Yes, this is making the rounds. Well, they have, every Sunday now, or at least for the past couple of Sundays, they've had Celebrity Jeopardy and they've had Celebrity
Wheel of
Fortune.
Yeah.
And so Joel Madden was on, and he is one of the judges on Ink Masters.
Okay.
And so they got into Pat, and he discussed this.
All right, here we go.
Are you still doing the Ink Master?
Yeah, hosting that tattoo competition.
I was going to have a little tattoo of Vanna put on my chest, but I didn't.
It's never too late.
I was afraid it would take away from my nipple ring.
I actually think it would complement the nipple rings, Pat.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
Oh my God.
A little adventurous at night.
Pat Sajak and nipple rings. Never really hear that. Interesting. Wow. You know what else is interesting? The guy who created the Fyre Festival.
Yes.
Billy McFarland. Apparently, he was released from prison earlier this year and appears to have a new idea. He has teased an event on TikTok.
Did you watch either of those documentaries?
No.
I watched both.
Yep.
They're, I mean, this guy is just out of his mind. He's one of these guys who has no fear. Like we say, what kind of person can do that and not live in constant terror that they're going to be discovered? This guy.
It's like that.
Bernie Madoff.
Well, I was going to say the gal from the Netflix.
Elizabeth Holmes.
No, not her. The gal Anna Delvey.
Oh yes.
Yes. It's like her. Just a scam after scam after scam after scam. McFarlane claims that this new project is a way to make up for the Fyre Festival. the music festival for the uber rich. It never happened. He says that the next update about whatever this event will be is coming in November, and he, quote, says everyone is invited.
You know there's going to be a lot of focus on this.
Mm-hmm.
Like this November, like next month?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to put it together next weekend, and it'll be amazing.
McFarlane also released a clue on YouTube about what's next, possibly hinting at some sort of treasure hunt.
Yeah.
God. And like Steve said, it says here plenty of people will pay attention to his next move, given just how horrific the last one was.
I love, so if you watch this, they had, there's going to be this incredible tropical experience with these A-list music performers, and he had where he ended up. Nick, you saw it, right?
Yeah, they were really fascinating and glimpses into like madness and delusion and thinking that it was
completely delusional.
Yeah, thinking that it was going to happen, but then knowing slowly that it wasn't, but not actually acknowledging that it wasn't.
Beverages couldn't get them.
Yeah.
They were supposed to going to have these like suites. It ended up where they had a whole bunch of just mattresses stacked.
So let me ask you this. So in the teaser video that everybody latched onto, it was like, wow, this looks incredible. It shows very sexy people on boats, on
Top
beaches, jet skis, all this exciting stuff going on. Did this guy think that he was going to be able to achieve all that?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they had lofty goals,
and was promoting it as such before any of this stuff was in place.
And he got social influencers like I think Kylie Jenner was a part of it, or like big people in that world.
Who was his partner?
Oh, maybe not Usher.
Nah, I got it. It was Ja Rule.
Ja Rule, yeah. And yeah, I mean, it looked like it was going to be incredible, and the way that they promoted it was pretty ingenious. It just was never going to actually happen.
And by the way, where they're filming that teaser, where they end up is they're on a like an old Air Force base on the island that's all gravel. They're right at the edge of this sort of cliffside. Nothing is safe. There's no power running. They're supposed to have these gourmet meals that are catered. They turn out to be
like cheese sandwiches and stuff.
Like the worst.
Yeah, I know how it ended up, but I was just curious if watching this video, you can make things look really sexy,
right? And this does. The presentation is really inviting.
Well, and it looks like the presentation, he spent tens of thousands of dollars just to have this promo put together.
I mean, really, like, it was a legit idea that had promise. It just, once they started realizing that things were going to go wrong, they just didn't own up to it. They could have said, they could have canceled it. They could have said, we don't have the funding, that this is going to fall apart, but they didn't. They kept trying to make it happen.
But we spent so much money on the video.
Exactly.
We can't stop now.
Yeah.
They're literally like 5-6 days away from where everything is supposed to happen. And he's out riding his jet ski. And the guy says, you're not worried about this? Yeah. You're not terrified of what's going to happen? And these guys just cruising around. It'll come together.
So he defrauded investors of over $27 million via marketing and selling tickets to the Fyre Festival. He and Ja Rule were sued for $100 million after attendees arrived, and the whole thing never came to be. Ultimately, he pleaded guilty to 2 counts of wire fraud. It was sentenced to 6 years in federal prison in 2016. He was released in 2022 after serving over 4 years of his sentence. But something new. He's got something new planned, something big.
Like who's going to buy in?
Yeah, exactly.
Not me.
So that's happening. So we got to keep an eye on this and see what the hell goes on. All right, listen, we should take a break because we do have a guest who's going to be on with us in a little bit. She's got an event coming up. She's been here before, and if true crime is your thing, then you want to hear.
Yeah, she's great.
When she gets in. So we'll get Sarah Kalin in here in just a moment or two. Another shot at You Who Loot in less than an hour from now. Hang tight. We'll be back in just a moment.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Pierre is in the studio, about ready to take over for the day.
It's a miracle.
It is a miracle.
It is a miracle.
Every day's a miracle.
Every day's a miracle. Rodney brought me coffee this morning.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Rodney's the man.
If Rodney isn't the greatest already, he, on his way in, found some wonderful coffee for me and brought it in.
I have a Superman statue that I'm going to give Rodney. There's one statue that has not ported over to my office. I said, if anybody around here deserves the Superman statue, it's Rodney.
I would agree. Yeah. You need more figurines and statues, though.
I have space now, and they will be coming. They are ordered and on their way. In fact, one should be arriving at the house today.
Yeah. Claire, God bless her.
She really is a saint.
She is a saint.
Yeah.
But I'm sure she said, no more in this house. Send them to the office.
Absolutely. Work it is.
Are there pictures of the assortment?
Yeah, in the house. But there's still room in the house.
No, I mean up online, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so that people can see how many Batman, Superman, other figurines you have.
Just go to our Instagram page.
Yeah. We posted yesterday. There's more on the way.
Yeah, so this is just beginning, but mostly featuring Batman and Iron Man.
Right. Okay.
Right now, I have to decorate properly.
Now, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. It's a miracle.
There you go. There's a picture of it in the studio right now.
Oh, this is the new office.
Yeah,
too, right?
yeah.
Yep. We just moved in the other day.
There's huge spaces where people would put books and tapes and various recording instruments, but Steve has used they're 5 feet high statues.
Yeah.
And
they're not 5 feet high.
All right. They're 4.5 feet high.
4.5 feet. Yeah.
And the Iron Man gets a giant Iron Man head.
That's a 1-to-1 scale Iron Man head.
Wow.
I'm so glad I listen. It looks good. You've organized it so nicely. I am proud of you. But I'm glad there's a buffer between me and you.
That buffer is Nick.
It's Nick.
Yeah.
I've started to straighten up my area.
You have. It's
and my collections are coming too. So I have display area finally. So I'm going to put some of my
swords.
stuff up.
Nice.
I don't know if I'm going to do the swords.
Really?
Yeah.
No, we threw the swords out.
No, I have a couple of swords. There's one like the Philadelphia Pipe and Drums brought us this really cool. It's engraved and everything. So that's for the show. I need to find somewhere for that. But I have other collections that I'm going to bring and display.
Are we going to do that thing that we were talking about? That one idea where we were floating
We got to
around?
do that. Yeah. We'll hopefully get to that soon.
Okay.
That's an idea, and we'll get to it.
Yeah. We're not going to reveal what it is.
We're going to put a chopping board in the middle of the room and hang our pots and pans from the ceiling.
No, that's Kathy's sections, along with the doilies and the Martha Stewart tribute area.
You know what? I've always wanted that. I've never had a setup where I can hang my pots and pans from like a ceiling setup.
I like that look. My wife doesn't like it, so we didn't get it.
Here's why I do like it. It looks great. But you can't use the pots because once there's a stain and you hang it up, now it looks ridiculous.
Shut up.
I'm just saying that's when
Once
it doesn't
there's
look
a
good.
stain,
That's why
that shows that that's a working kitchen.
Which is
There
fine.
would
but
never
then
be a stain if it was me because they'd never be used.
Me neither. That's why I always wanted it.
It would work in your house.
Yeah.
See, that's why we should live together.
That's why we are married but stay apart.
Right. Forever.
I mean, you can't have sex all the time.
Well, exactly.
No, it's the perfect marriage. We don't live together and we don't have to have sex.
Yeah, you just love each other and then leave it at that.
We just love each other, and that's all
Kathy,
there is to it.
had she not met Dennis, she would have been married to a prisoner.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It'd be the perfect thing. What are you in for murder? Love it.
Right each other.
Yeah.
I didn't give away whatever it was I had yesterday.
You didn't?
So whatever that is.
It was a turkey.
It was a turkey.
We'll give it away today.
It was and pounds of steak.
And
so,
pounds of steak.
Yeah, not just a pound. Several pounds of steak.
I would like 7 pounds of steak.
7 pounds of steak. You got it, Buster. Step right up to Pierre's Butcher Shop. I got all the blood you need.
You should get for Halloween one year. You should go as a butcher, like with blood splattered, apron and everything. That'd be perfect.
A vegetarian butcher with all the zucchinis hanging from
Yes, and mangled tofu hanging from my locks.
Mangled tofu hanging from your locks.
Mangled tofu would be like dreadlocks, but tofu locks.
Yeah,
I like it.
All right,
Actually,
we're
I
cooking
don't,
with gas
but anyway.
now, mustard.
Oh my God.
Please welcome the one and only Mr. John Travolta to our studio. Good morning, John.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Nice to see you.
You sound good.
Thank you. I feel good. I feel very good. You know what? As I was introducing you, and I said, "Welcome to Philadelphia." You shot a film here in Philadelphia.
I did. I shot Blowout.
Yeah,
which is a Brian De Palma great movie.
Yeah, thank you. I agree.
So this movie, we want to talk about The Fanatic, which is I started watching it. I wanted to go into it cold, and it's a big departure for the kind of roles that you play. Mm-hmm. It's a horror suspense, but it also takes a peek inside the world of TMZ and fandom run Fanatical. And your character is very unique. And from what I understand, the character was written with you in mind. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was. Fred Durst from the Limp Bizkit. He wrote it, and he directed it. And I will say that he is quite inspired as a director and as an actor even.
Right.
And he helped quite a bit. He would improvise with me prior to the takes, and he designed this character, and I understood it because I am a fan. I'm a fan as much as we all are. And I think if you don't understand that, whether it's sports or whether it's the arts or icons or whomever you admire, you can't do this kind of role.
It's funny because John, because I collect things. I'm a massive movie fan. I'm a huge fan of yours as well. And there's something that, and it's your character exemplifies in the movies. Well, just to be able to get the tactile sensation of touching something that a celebrity or there's this bizarre thing. I remember it's odd, as I was watching the movie, I was thinking the story that Gene Siskel of Siskel and Ebert, it was very important for him to own the white suit that you wore on Saturday night.
Correct.
And he owned that. It was a holy grail for him.
Yes, so and then Jane Fonda bought it.
Right.
So you're completely correct. But this particular guy, this character I play, is he's a man-child. He is maybe a little bit on the spectrum, which explains his irrational behavior. However, that being said, he's picked on and bullied at work, and everyone bullies him, but he's so used to it that he handles it. But when his favorite person in the world bullies him, this movie star, he doesn't know how to handle it. He gets confused. And when he gets confused, he does really odd things. And you'll see in the film that he goes over the line, but so does the movie star.
Yeah, and
the movie star goes over the line equally as well, by torturing.
And his inability to pick up on social cues, it takes it down a path where it's like, oh no. Right. And I got to tell you, John, the entire time while watching this movie, I don't think there was a moment where something on my body wasn't clenched.
Yeah.
Whether it was my hands or my mouth or even my butt cheeks. I mean, I was just like, it was tense.
Well, because it's
the whole thing.
Nothing times up. The point when you finally get to have this moment with Hunter Dunbar's his name is the character. He has a bad experience, and you just happen to come upon him at that time, and it never syncs up right. So that starts.
That's correct. It's also a movie about bad timing.
Yeah, and then some.
Because if he had just been in the right mood and had his autograph, he would have been over.
Yeah.
But of course, then we wouldn't have had a movie.
Yes.
But what I thought was brilliant was that I loved that your character before all that started to happen. So I almost felt bad, and I was like, well, it's not that bad that he's doing some of these things, But then it progresses into the movie. But you really made me love that character before you found out the other stuff.
Yeah, thanks. I wanted him to be loved because I feel like everyone is a little bit of the character Moose. We all have a little Moose in us. It's just how far do we take it? And if we didn't have Moose in us, how would we be, ourselves to create an effect on others?
Yeah, I might be in your plane later.
Well, Hunter Devin Sawa, is that the actor who's playing Hunter?
Correct.
Yeah. So again, nobody's all that awesome in this. Everyone's got, even his friends, or quote unquote friends, are not that good as far as friends.
Correct.
And I like that because that's sort of real. But I like also the peek into the side of the people who are out on the street who make money. You're dressing up as a Bobby, to pick up some money, and there are these things going on in that world that sort of, for some reason, Hollywood, when depicted in a seedier fashion, always appeals to me. It's like a Raymond Chandler sort of.
Well, also maybe that's a bit of the truth.
Yeah. But in a way, that's sort of, that's almost sort of enticing too. That bizarre aspect.
Yeah, I love how L.A. is depicted in this film. I think it's very real and tragic almost.
I thought in watching the movie at first, and now seeing you today, I probably know it's not the case, but I thought maybe you would cut your own hair for the role.
No, it was really cool because I said, when I loved the script and wanted to do it, I said to Fred Durst, what do we do about how he looks? I mean, the Hawaiian shirt was an obvious kind of choice. There's bad shorts and bad sneakers and all that. But I said, what about the hair and the look? And he said, well, what do you think about mullets? And I said, I don't know. It's overdone. And he said, well, there's a lot of different kinds. Would you care to look? So I looked on the internet, about 100 different types, and boom, suddenly there was this dude with the exact haircut Moose has, with glasses. And I texted it to Fred, and I said, I found the look. I found it. And he said, I agree. This is the right way to go.
I have to tell you, I was at it, and when I saw this character of Moose, I've told you guys this story. I was at a convention one time, one of these conventions. I am a real fan like this, not Moose level, but And Adam West was there, the original Batman. So
man,
everyone's
Adam
there.
West,
There was a guy who looks exactly like your character in this knapsack, the whole thing, the backpack, with about 50 cans of Fresca in that thing, and that same sort of delivery. And you work on this character with that, Mr. West, and he's sort of that thing, and so your heart sort of that this is not just a hobby; it's his life.
And there is a difference. There's a professional fan that usurps signatures and sells them.
Right.
And then there's the guy that ain't selling nothing.
Yeah.
And is going to keep it. And that's Moose. Moose is not getting rid of any of his memorabilia at all. So how do you detect the difference? I don't know.
Yeah.
But definitely there is a difference.
And you're known to be fan friendly. When the opportunity is right and that person does approach you
respectfully.
Yeah, respectfully. Do you know what you're giving them? I would think this is a very special moment for them.
Absolutely. And I grew up being a fan, so I understood.
Right.
And I remember a very famous movie star who will remain nameless, but he kind of, just discarded my this is before I was famous. And I decided that if I ever became famous, I would never do that. So I live by that motto, But again, how do you navigate the line of privacy? And
It is a tough line because, and again, with people who approach you, and we always think in that. Listen, we're on local radio, but whatever the stories, if somebody comes up. It's every time the edict is you shake hands, you say hi, you do the deal because that's an important thing, and sometimes as what happens with Hunter, the star in this, he lets his life cloud his remembering because it starts off with a quote from him: "I'm nothing without my fans," but he doesn't abide by that.
Well, sometimes there are good people that are bad celebrities.
Yeah.
Let's face it.
Right.
So my cure to that always has been don't go out unless you're in the mood for it.
That's good. Good rule. Yeah.
Are you in the frame of mind if you go out to dinner to be interrupted, bothered, whatever, take pictures? And if you are, go out.
Yeah.
If you're not, that's just part of the very small price you pay for this glorious life that we have.
Well, case in point, in 1996, you met a nice 21-year-old young man in Beverly Hills, California, and I had a job at the time where I was driving around cars for Enterprise Rent-A-Car in Beverly Hills, and I saw you, and the only thing that I could think to say was, "Oh my God, that's John Travolta," and you came over and you looked me in the eye just like you did 10 minutes ago and shook my hand and said, "Hi, it's very nice to meet you." And then you went about your day, but you couldn't have been more pleasant. And I've heard countless stories of how kind you are to people, and it's not hard to be nice. And I think people just lose sight of that. It's really easy to just be a decent, nice person to everybody else.
Let's face it, what you resist, you become. The more you withdraw from it, the worse it gets. So just, own it.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to tell you on the shaved head thing, I endorse it 100%.
You look good.
There's a movie that I love of yours. A lot of people are not familiar with it. They should be. It's From Paris with Love.
Oh, hell yeah.
And damn, you are the baddest badass in that movie. Preston, this movie will rock your world.
Okay, I haven't seen
and John is amazing at it. Who's the director of that?
That's the guy that did oh gosh, you've tested me now.
Yeah, he's great. He's done a whole bunch of stuff that's similar.
Fantastic.
But did you enjoy making that film?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Because they were demanding stunts and action that I've never, had done before, and I had to do them myself. And I loved the badass character. He was just whatever he was bold.
Yeah.
Pierre Morel, is that it?
Yes, there's
Pierre
some
Morel.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you.
Well, I looked it up.
You've
so.
saved me.
What would you prefer, stunts or dancing?
Dancing.
Come on.
Any day.
Well, did Pitbull inspire?
Yeah, he's my buddy.
He's your buddy. You're in a video of his.
I love my Pitbull. He's I met him 3 years ago just to reach out and tell him, how much, as a fan.
Right.
And then he's such a brilliant entrepreneur. He got thinking about it, and he said, maybe I should have put him in one of my videos dancing, because nobody's dancing very much anymore,
Right.
He does, but nobody else really. So I thought, well, hell, I'll join him. And
I think Chris are not your average listeners from days gone by. And there's an event coming up. It's called True Crime All Horrors Eve at River Horse Brewing Company. It's going to be Friday, 6:30 p.m. And we are happy to welcome back Sarah Kalin to the show this morning. Hello there, Sarah.
It doesn't seem she may not be able to hear us. She didn't immediately light up when she realized she would be talking to us.
Hi, Sarah. Can you hear us? Hi.
Oh, no.
I'm looking at her. She's alive. She's moving. We have her via Zoom. And
We're going to have to just get her on the telephone.
Anything.
Just give us a second here.
You don't think someone's running this footage because they're going to attack her?
Oh, that right
That's
there,
looped.
that's not live. That's a
That
loop.
it's looped.
It's possible.
To make us think.
It could be.
To give them an alibi.
She's a true crimer.
Yeah, she knows this stuff.
So I don't really know. All right. Well, we'll wait and we'll get her on the phone. I think,
Or at least Morse code. I know we have that's hooked up as well.
Do we have that?
Yeah.
That line hooked up?
let me
I
get
have no idea. Okay. Don't you wish you knew Morse code?
I do.
I used to.
I mean, I know SOS and that's it. You know the whole alphabet? At one point?
Years ago.
That's crazy.
My brother was in a thing called the Junior Naval Reserve. This was years ago. It was like a Boy Scouts type of thing. And he was learning all the different things, and we would, test on with Morse code. And I could understand a good portion of it. I have forgotten it completely.
Yeah. I just know SOS and that's it.
Yeah.
But I had a walkie-talkie that had the Morse code alphabet on it. And of course, no.
I had a ham radio, Preston, and I enjoyed that hobby for, it had to be a full weekend.
Oh, you had a ham radio?
Yeah. I got one of those ones in the back of the Sears catalog. I think it broadcast to the end of my garage.
Okay, so you weren't checking in with New Zealand,
right? No. I could barely check in with my mother upstairs. But they had the Morse code thing as well.
I wanted one when I was a kid. I wanted a ham radio, but
my neighbor was into it full blown. I mean, he had a thing like a huge,
gigantic
somehow
antenna.
He convinced his parents to do it. Like a huge antenna array on his house.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
because you can talk to the other side of the world.
I find that people who get involved with that though spend a lot of time in their basements.
I think they do. All right, I think she's ready to go via ham radio this morning. Please welcome Sarah Kalin to the program. Now we have you, Sarah. Hi there.
Hi, how are you guys?
Wonderful. I don't know what happened with our Zoom line there.
We need to figure this out.
No, it's all right. It's all right. We'll chalk it up to the little goblins. It's Halloween.
Yeah, I guess so. And hence you have a cool event coming up. Now you do podcasts, you do these live shows, you do all this cool stuff involving true crime. And this one, if it's called All Horrors Eve, what are you guys going to be focusing in on this time around?
On this one, what I do is we don't go into the realm of the supernatural for this because the real world is frightening enough.
Yes.
What I do, the entire event, we're going to talk about cases, about real crimes that happened at or on Halloween, like in the Halloween season or right actually on Halloween, sort of throughout the years. I go back all the way into the 1800s, and then we come up to pretty much to modern day. And we're just going to go through a bunch of these different cases. I always say that my events are a little like you took an academic lecture and you smushed it together with a true crime podcast, and then you soaked it all in booze.
No,
so that's kind of.
Yeah, no, they're obviously very popular. People really enjoy them, and they enjoy what you do. So it's definitely a no-brainer. I wanted to ask you because we were talking about this earlier, and my wife has a fear of going to like haunted Halloween rides or wax museums or things like that. The perception around Halloween and with these haunted attractions is that if someone wanted to kill someone, that'd be a great place to go do it, and you kind of blend in. But statistically, around this time of year, is there a spike, or has there been traditionally an increase in crimes like you investigate?
Not that I'm aware of. I think, obviously on any holiday or any time of year when you see a whole bunch of people sort of out partying, obviously there's going to be a little uptick. But I don't think I don't think that there's anything specifically tied to Halloween that I've seen in the numbers. But I kind of don't blame your wife for feeling that way. I feel a little bit the same way. You know what I mean? Like you do think somebody could blend in with a real axe at Eastern State.
Right. So, but my wife has every reason to feel that way. Well, that's cool. I wanted to ask you, Sarah, because of this, and we were talking again earlier about horror movies and stuff. You've seen, obviously, what you investigate is fascinating. We're perpetually fascinated by it, what you report on. But does seeing all that and seeing the worst of humanity, does that sort of make you predisposed to being cynical about people when you meet them?
Boy, that's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been, I do this true crime stuff, but I also still work. I'm still an active homicide investigator, a cold case homicide investigator specifically. And I've been in the field in investigations or in law enforcement in one capacity or another for almost 25 years. I think, I probably have my guard up maybe a little bit more than the average person, but I do think in general that women are more aware of the possibilities for danger around them, because the possibilities for danger around women are higher than they are for men. I mean, It's just a fact. And so I think that we're probably all a little more in tune to that than the guys just sort of like, doop going down the street.
Right. It's interesting because there's so many things. I mean, as of late, there's been this fascination has surged for all things Jeffrey Dahmer because of this Netflix series. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about this before, that where, people will beat themselves up for being fascinated by this stuff. But this is fascinating. There's a point, though, at which it crosses over into ghoulishness. What's your take on all this and what's going on with the Netflix series?
Gosh, that's a really great question. And I think that there has actually this year, because of a couple of things, there has been sort of a reckoning within the true crime community, like within the content producer community this year, about ethics in the genre. And I think because there was sort of this explosion of popularity over the last decade, I always say that true crime has existed as a sort of consumer product since the dawn of time. Right. I mean, I love at my events to show old photos from like 1900, and it'll be like a court case or an actual crime scene. There's just swarms of people. Most of them women. Sort of true crime has always been a woman's genre. But I think this year, because the explosion is sort of coming to a point where it's like, okay, this is so big now, we can't ignore this. It's not this tiny little subset of the media. And there has been a lot more talk about how do we do this ethically. And I think that there are some camps where they're going to kind of continue to dig their heels into the sensational side of things, and there are camps. I think more of them, and I'd like to hope that I can count myself among this camp, who are really keenly aware of the dignity of the case, the dignity of the victims, and the dignity of the loved ones who may still be around. And I think that it's really important. People want to learn this stuff, and so there is a certain amount of information about the case or about certain types of killers that we have to share in order to educate people. But we don't have to, just be up to our eyeballs, so to speak, in every single detail of every single case in order to understand the psychology or in order to understand ways to make ourselves safer. So I think it's really about setting the bar and saying, I won't consume things that are not going to treat these people with respect.
Okay.
And to do your homework. Like, you can look into the way these podcasts or the shows or books, you can look into the content creators. You can look into the things that the families have to say if you feel like I really only want to put my support behind creators who are trying to do good in the world. There is real good to be done in the world through this. I mean, you look at just recently, in recent days, literally the exoneration of Adnan Syed. That's so important. The exoneration of the three men in the Malcolm X assassination, that came out of a documentary series.
And Sarah, I know you were working on one as well. This is a case from 1993, right, from Mobile, Alabama. And it's fascinating to me when these cases are 30, 40 years old, that they can find new evidence or find evidence that was suppressed or whatever, and find ways to free wrongfully convicted criminals, or just to solve something that at one point seemed unsolvable.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I am excited about that one. I know I talked to you guys about this case the very first time I came on. I've been on it for 3.5 years now, and I think we're closing in on an indictment by the end of this year.
Wow.
It's astonishing.
Wow.
Patton Oswalt's wife, who passed away, she was the Golden State Killer.
Yes,
yes.
Michelle McNamara.
Right,
Yeah.
and she was invested in that for, I think it was a decade plus. I mean, there's at a certain point with what you do as well. You said connecting through to the victims, or surviving family members, and we were talking earlier this week about, or was it last week, about the importance of that sense of closure. To know that you are on a journey to bring closure to people. Because to me, I can't think of anything worse. Someone goes missing in your life, or you just need to know at least something, and people just kind of sit in this limbo. And I think that's got to be an excruciating place to be.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I do, I work right up close with this, and I see them sit in that place. And it strengthens my resolve personally to at least give them answers. I don't know if it will give them closure, but maybe it will give them a little bit of peace. And that's my hope when I take on a new cold case.
Sarah, how often does the old, the Occam's razor principle prove valid, that the simplest explanation is usually the explanation?
Pretty frequently.
Okay, all right.
There's the great true crime trope of, it was the husband, because, it usually was the husband.
Right.
So, that's there too, but not always. I think a lot of times, sometimes detectives get excited about the idea of when you hear hoofbeats, think horses, not zebras. And I think sometimes people get super excited about a zebra and spend a lot of time running down what turns out to be a horse.
Right, yeah. That makes sense. Does any case come to mind that you perhaps were directly involved in investigating, where everything pointed in one direction, and you did have a case where it was not Occam's razor, and it completely came out of left field?
Oh my goodness. Well, now you put me on the spot. I started this year on another case in Mobile County that I think at the time it has been believed for a really long time that it was just a matter of proving that it was the husband in that case. And when I took on the case, I kind of had the same thought. I said, yeah, it certainly looks like it. And I thought this was going to be a quick close. And now we're finding some stripes. We're finding some stripes. Maybe this one might be a zebra. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. It's fascinating.
Sarah, there are those, super duper high profile cases that, a lot of people who are familiar with this realm know, like the Zodiac Killer, that are kind of like these Hail Mary. Wow, can't believe they never figured that out. I do remember, the Black Dahlia being another one. I do remember seeing a while back, it might have been last year, that they had broken that code for the Zodiac Killer. Did anything ever come of that you know? I mean, I know I could go look it up, but I was wondering if you knew offhand.
It's funny. I was actually just talking about that at one of my events in Chicago this week. So there was a whole flurry of activity, and the team of investigators who had come together to work on that really were, bona fide experts in their respective fields. But I also kind of took notice, when we were talking about it just kind of faded away.
Yeah.
I know that there was some pushback at the time that perhaps the information they had wasn't quite as good as they'd initially hoped. So I don't know. That's a great question, but I think it remains still technically solved.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, and obviously, we're talking about your event, which is coming up. But there, I think people are drawn to these things on so many different levels, and you probably have an interesting, rabid fan base. And I've heard this, posited occasionally, that a lot of these procedurals, a lot of these things, not you specifically, but in a way, are sort of helping to train the next
how to do it.
How to do it. Do you ever come across anybody who is clearly influenced and might have picked up a couple of pointers from all of this glut?
I think, my overall answer to that would be no. That particularly, I focus, all of my study and research has been specifically on serial predators, serial killers, and serial sexual attackers. And the fact is that those those monsters have always existed and they will always exist.
Right.
So I don't think that we're making any. But I will say somebody came up to me at an event in Chicago on Sunday night and asked me if there was a way to get away with murder. And I just
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
How often does it happen? And we hear stories about it all the time where they simply check the person's Google search pattern and they've actually looked up the way that they ended up killing the person.
Oh my goodness! You know that we often say we don't catch the smart ones. It happens a lot. I mean, they're Google or whatever. Actually, in this Halloween show, I'm going to discuss one case from the 70s. It wasn't a Google search, but this guy had literally taken classes on potassium cyanide, and they were able to track that down pretty quickly when somebody in his life died from cyanide poisoning.
Oh, Jesus.
My favorite is the guy who has the website set up that's killer for hire, and people actually solicit for this person, and he just turns them over to the cops. It's the best.
Like I said, we don't catch the smart ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. All right. So this event coming up on Friday, the All Horrors Eve.
Friday and Saturday.
And Saturday. Okay, excellent. And this is going to be at River Horse Brewing. Now, you're going to touch on a variety of cases that take place that have happened on Halloween. Can you share? I know you don't want to reveal all of them here because you want people to go to the show. Can you maybe share one with us that's kind of interesting?
Yeah, well, so that one that I was just talking about, that is a case from the 1970s.
Okay.
And it involves the oldest trope in the book of poisoned candy being handed out at Halloween to little kids.
Poisoned candy.
Now, you always hear that's a myth, that's never really happened. Okay.
Yeah, but we're gonna pick apart the myth because there's some truth behind it. But Friday at River Horse Brewing in Ewing in the Princeton area, and then I'll be at Brooklyn Brewery in Brooklyn on Saturday night to kind of wrap out Halloween weekend.
No, it's honestly, this is perpetually fascinating stuff, and what you do is perpetually fascinating. And though you hate to say it, this is kind of an appropriate time of year for it. So I'm sure you're going to sell out quickly. Can people buy? I assume people buy tickets available. It says here at KalenInvestigations.com, right? That's the best way to do it?
Or the easiest way is actually just speakingcrime.com, and that takes you to my website. Tickets for all my shows are linked at the website, speakingcrime.com.
Okay.
And you can find my social links on there too. And then actually in January, 8-part podcast series on this case from Alabama will kick off. So,
very nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure this is going to sell out quickly, so anybody who's listening who's interested better get on it now.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll link that stuff and make it easy through our accounts.
Oh, my gosh.
too.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Pleasure. Always good to talk to you, Sarah. So good luck with everything, and we'll chat again soon, okay?
All right. Sounds great. Thanks, Jen.
All right. Thank you. Sarah Kalen. True Crime, All Horrors Eve at River Horse Brewing Company.
They had a Zoom link. Everything seemed like it was going to work out. And suddenly it didn't. Ballackinwood's a lovely little hamlet in Pennsylvania. Not much was going on that Tuesday morning.
You could do that.
Yeah. I love it. Keith Morrison is the Mac Daddy, as they say, of the of those things. But they all have that tone.
Yeah.
But no one ever suspected.
Yeah.
Well, he just bought the wood chipper because
a new guy named Kyle started working. All right, let's take a break and come back because I got some bizarre file stories. We also have yet another chance for you to win $1,000. You Who Loot is coming up 10 a.m. the next opportunity. Stay put. We won't be gone long.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing a lot better now.
93.3 WMMR presents.
Why is that?
Because I just want $1,000 from my mom.
For just a quick shuffle step. I think in every single role he's ever done.
Got a Broadway history. Music. Yeah,
and you danced with him in Hairspray.
I certainly did.
Yes,
he played my husband.
That's right.
So I wanted to ask you because you had 3 movies in a row that I really loved of yours, and it started with Wild Hogs. I can't believe I loved it as much as I mean, I was laughing out loud.
It's a funny movie.
It is a funny movie. It really is. It surprised me with how funny it was. I don't know if that's a backhanded compliment or whatever, but
no, it's a funny movie, and who would have thought a bunch of old guys in motorcycles would be that funny?
But your character as Edna Turnblatt in Hairspray, and I love that movie. I have songs from that movie in my iPod. You Can't Stop the Beat is a really, really great song.
Great. Yeah.
And then followed by Bolt. And speaking of songs,
he's not kidding.
I'm not kidding. I have I Nearly Lost You. It was a duet that you did with Miley Cyrus. Yes. I have that on my iPod.
Do you really?
I do. And I thought you sounded great in that. So this is a long diatribe. But what do you prefer, singing or dancing?
I'd still prefer dancing, but I enjoy singing because I did both as an early professional. In order to work in New York, you had to sing, you had to act, you had to dance. 3 chances of getting employment.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed all of them, but I'm most comfortable dancing and then probably acting and singing. I just happened to be able to hold a pretty good tune, you know.
Well,
I had a very high, like almost a high baritone or tenor.
You still do.
Voice, yes.
You still do. I mean, in Bolt, in that song, and I would ask anybody that, has an iTunes account or whatever, listen to the song if you haven't heard it before. It's the song that ends.
He's played it for us many times.
Maybe, but it's the song that runs at the end of the movie.
Well, it just seems that my voice is like, for instance, You're the One That I Want in Grease.
Yeah.
And Bolt song, there's this high, range that I sing in that it's kind of different than most people. So it's kind of identifiable as my niche or something as a singer.
I love the way you sing. You're the one that, because you're the one that I want.
Yeah. A lot of yodels in that song.
A lot of yodels. So with the career as long as yours, getting back to the fanatic,
it's biblical, yes.
It seems I never hear stories of you. There never seems to be a situation like a moose ending up. You don't seem to draw that kind of.
I don't because I embrace my fans.
Yeah.
And I actually communicate with them. There is not that urge to. I'm not a mystery as much, and I'm not a can't have.
Right.
And as soon as you become a can't have, it starts a frenzy.
So some people are calling it a horror suspense. Do you like things of the things that make you uncomfortable?
I like the ones I've done. I love Carrie. When I was a kid, I did that movie. And
was that your first major film?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, with Brian De Palma, and then we got together again for Blowout, and I certainly love that.
Which is so we work obviously with audio. It took the classic film Blow Up and made it audio.
Yes, exactly.
And so I remember thinking, and I thought with the editing and all that stuff, it actually was one of the things like I think I want to do this. But Brian De Palma is a brilliant director. Did you see the documentary on him recently?
I haven't.
He goes on about you in it, and just nothing but accolades and working with you. But it's a really cool insight to the movie.
When did this come out? I'd love to see it.
I watched it on iTunes.
Netflix
Yeah,
iTunes?
It's probably all over the place.
I'm gonna have to see that one because I love documentaries.
Yeah.
I mean, they're my favorite entertainment.
There's actually CNN is doing a good series on movies now, a documentary series, and you are figuring prominently in it as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
2 things to watch.
John, I wanted to ask in The Fanatic, your character Moose mentions a couple of times somebody you've worked with before, and that's Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes.
And
she's got 2 pools.
I got a kick out of hearing that because I'm sure you guys are friends or have been over the years, and maybe it's been a while, but has word gotten back to her that, or have you heard from her that she's mentioned in that?
Not yet, but soon.
Okay.
Soon. I invited her to the premiere, so maybe she'll learn that.
Yeah. I thought, was that Fred's idea to include that, or did he write that in?
Okay. He wrote that. All the dialogue is. I improvised quite a bit, but all the primary dialogue is Fred's.
Okay.
Because it seems. But I was reading that he was working with you, sort of. Asking questions to Moose to incite responses, so that you started to think.
Well, that's
in that
the actor, and Fred he's a really terrific actor as well as a director. But he's the only director I've worked with that actually could do this. But he would legitimately improvise with me as Moose, and it got me in the frame of mind. And then I would go to each department. I go to the lighting department, the wardrobe, the makeup here, and I'd be in character, and I'd have them ask me questions. And it was like a juggernaut. And as soon as Fred sensed that I had arrived at the moose zone,
the moose zone,
boom, we
yeah,
would do action.
That's cool.
And it was a very, very great way to. There's nothing better for an actor to prep than for someone to ask them questions about them.
As in the character.
In the character.
So that's
to think in the character.
Is that classically what we would refer to as method?
No, I'd say it's a method.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the classic method because it has more about reliving past incidents and things. I think this is.
And you never had a mullet.
And I never had a mullet. But I do think that assuming the beingness of a character quickly is where you want to be when you do a role, and it helps you to be that when you're asked questions before you go on.
Sure.
You know, it's nice.
You didn't have a mullet, but you did have long hair in Pulp Fiction, and I get you in my phone fairly frequently. When I'm not, when I'm running late to the gym, my trainer will send me a text, and it's just you doing the looking around me give in Pulp Fiction. But in that role, you played such an interesting character because you're lost a lot of the time, and you're in this haze, but you're also in this like euphoria. Where did that come from?
It's a very good question because he's a hitman, but he's also what they call a chippy, a weekend heroin addict. And I thought, well, I have no reality on that. I'm gonna have to find out. So I interviewed several heroin addicts and asked them about how they felt. And then finally one day I said, look, I'm never gonna do it, so you have to help me understand that feeling. And he said, okay, well, I really can't, but if you have to know the beginning of the feeling, is get really drunk on tequila and lay in a body of warm water. And he said that little bit of feeling is the beginning of that.
Did you do that?
I did that. And of course, when I'm not a drinker either, but when I did it, everyone I knew wanted to join me in the experiment. Oh, that sounds cool. When are we doing that? Wow. Okay, we are doing my character study together tomorrow night.
Man, that sounds like fun. I want to do that.
It was fun, and then from there I grew, and then with the descriptions that they told me, and I was able to design it. But that's even Quentin didn't know all the time what I was doing because he just trusted me. He said, John, well, I don't why he's walking that slow, why he's talking this slow, I'll figure it out later. But
he let you go? He just let you go?
He just let me go.
Wow.
Because I think the great ones do that. Brian De Palma and Quentin and Robert Altman and Mike Nichols, all those guys I worked with all had that one thing in common. They hired you, you're 90% there. 10% is guiding you here and there.
Is that what happened? So it's Saturday Night Fever. John Badham was the director?
Yeah, he let me go because I said, Badham, you're from Texas. I'm from New York. I know this guy better.
Yeah.
So leave me alone. I'll help you with me, and then I won't interfere with how you direct
It's got to be the ultimate compliment as an actor for a director to say, you got it.
It is, and it's the smartest.
Yeah.
If the actor is trustworthy.
Right.
I think it's the only way to go. Because otherwise you get a mediocre performance as opposed to a kind of a higher end performance.
I want to ask you, you've worked with John Woo twice, right?
Oh, yes.
So you did Face Off and Broken Arrow. And for a guy who's so incredibly likable, you play a incredibly adroit prick in those movies. You are so evil.
I haven't figured that out yet. How is that possible?
But it seems to me you enjoyed it so much, especially with playing basically Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
With that, and you are so hilariously evil in that. Was that just a joy?
It was a joy.
Yeah.
And it was easier for me than it was for Nicholas.
Because you had to tamp down.
Well, Nicholas really had to find me somewhere, and he had a hard time finding me in the movies because I'm different in most movies. But Nicholas is very specific in his talk and his behavior, and so it was a little easier for me to grasp his side of it than it was for him to grasp my side.
So I wanted to ask you, let's get away from acting for a second. I wanted to ask you about your planes and your pilot's license. What ratings do you have, and how long did it take you to get them?
Okay, you ready for the long list?
Well, so I have a couple of friends that are pilots, and so I'm a little bit familiar with it.
Okay, I have 10,000 hours in the air.
Jeez.
It's quite a bit. I have, 12 jet ratings, 747, 707, Gulfstream, Citation, Lear, Hawker, Falcon jet, three different fighter jets.
No kidding.
Oh, wow.
Wait, which fighter? Because Preston and I have both flown in fighter jets.
Yeah, I went
we
up
didn't
with the
pilot it.
No, I got to fly mine little. I went up with the Blue Angels. And,
did you?
Yeah.
How was
a
that?
Media flight. It was amazing.
Did they make you sick?
I passed out and puked.
That's why I won't go with them because I don't want to do that. I have too much pride to end up, doing that. But
Yeah, it was FA-18. You were in an F-16 because he was with the Air National Guard.
I wore a G suit, so I didn't pass out or get sick.
Yeah, well,
but I
that's
did pull 9
good
Gs.
for you.
Yeah.
Well, you have to tell them before. You have to say, you know what? I don't want to get sick. Please don't make me. Yeah. So that's my.
And how many years? How long did it take?
Oh God, I've been flying since I was 16.
Okay.
Really? It blows my mind when I see a shot of you sitting in the cockpit of a 707. I mean, because I know my litmus test has always been if you've ever locked your keys in your car, you shouldn't be a pilot. So but to me that it requires such a skill set and an attention to detail. And you just legitimately, we know about like David Gilmour as a pilot, and there are a lot of people just love it. I'm thrilled with the notion, but I would never do it because I know my own limitations. But I mean, when you get behind when you're flying a 747, are you white knuckling it, or are you just in absolute ecstasy?
No, I find that the bigger the plane, the more almost simple it is.
Really?
Yeah, and less complex. Well, it's complex in its systems, but it's, there's a lot of booster systems and boosted systems, I should say, that make it like a power steering. It's kind of effortless.
Backups.
You don't really feel the size of the plane.
All right.
In the smaller jets, you actually feel it more.
Would there be enough room for me to lay down and cry? Because that's all I have.
Yes, you can lay down and cry.
Being famous, you have a lot of people have the privilege of having private jets and being flown all over the place. When you do get into one of your jets or something, are you flying it?
Yes, for the most part, unless I'm tired, and then you shouldn't be.
Did you see there was a news story yesterday? Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s citation that went off the runway, caught on fire.
Really?
Everybody got out. Everybody was okay, but the plane was a total loss. Yeah.
Oh, I've got to look that up.
Yeah,
I think you always learn by these things.
Okay. Yeah, they're the FAA and the Safety Administration are looking at it. Speaking of aircraft, your 707 is is being donated.
Yes, I'm donating to Australia. I've had it 18 years and I loved it, but it's getting antiquated and it's time to give it away. So I'm donating it to an Australian museum.
Was this the one we heard? We were talking to Olivia Newton-John, and she said that she had never seen Grease, and you had her and her husband.
Yes.
Come on. Well, his husband had never seen.
He had never seen.
And
Grease.
you actually went on the plane and watched it.
Correct. Yes, that is correct. I said, if you're going to marry Olivia Newton-John, you better see Grease.
Oh, that must have been so much fun.
It was watching his reaction, because then he became the entertainment, watching him watch the screen, like I did with my dad with Mary Poppins when I was 10. I wanted him so badly to see it that I watched him the whole movie, watch the screen.
There was a screening of Grease last night at the Mann Music Center, which is this great venue in town, and the Philadelphia Orchestra was there to perform the soundtrack, and they just do a phenomenal job of accompanying the live music with the movie, and people were just going nuts for it. I mean, the movie's nearly 40 years old, or maybe it's 40 years old at this point.
It is, and it is a phenomenon. It's really interesting to see how each generation embraces that film. Because I remember when I was little, watching Yankee Doodle Dandy or
Cagney.
Watching Wizard of Oz, and they all held up, but they were only 20 years old at that time.
Yeah.
This movie's 40, and it's still like it was as though it were done last year.
Yeah, it's pretty timeless.
It's really timeless, which I'm proud of.
It's funny, though, because I think there was a certain group in time where I was very aware of silent films, and it wasn't like I was around.
Come on. All right, let's do these stories.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
I have a handful of these to pass along, and we will start with this really strange. When a driver suffering stab wounds crashed into a telephone pole, bringing wires down in Massachusetts, police said that they received reports of a car hitting a telephone pole at about 8:05 a.m. Officials said all 4 people in the van suffered non-life-threatening injuries, including the driver, who had been stabbed multiple times.
How did that happen?
The driver had to jump out of the car before it even crashed. Surveillance video from one home showed people rushing to help surrounding the scene of the crash. One neighbor said, "We just heard it more than anything. We heard like an err." That's what it says here. E-R-R-R-R-R. The car came to a stop right here. I came out and we started running around to see who needed help. There was people laying on the ground. It got a little crazy. There was apparently somebody else up there who had been stabbed, and he supposedly jumped out of the car because they were stabbing him, and he was the one driving.
So they're stabbing the driver?
Yeah. Not a good idea.
No. Can you pull over? We need to stab you.
An argument between the passengers may have caused the crash, police said.
I bet you won't stab me while I'm driving.
Neighbors said they saw a knife in the road after the accident. Crews were working on the pole this past Saturday, and police said the investigation on the crash and what exactly led up to it is ongoing. In England, a horny pair of train passengers were unable to contain their excitement and decided to start having wild, rampant sex in public.
Oh, yeah.
Two very explicit...
A regular Saturday night thing, baby. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Two going to be my regular Saturday night thing, baby. Oh, yeah.
Two very explicit videos of the couple who look like they are aged around their early 20s were posted on social media. Steve, it made me think of the first episode of the show Trying.
Yes, yeah.
Because,
that's great. Yeah,
something like
they're
that
on a
happens.
bus.
The bloke is seen enjoying himself.
Where'd you go, bloke?
By not moving at all, while the dark-haired female is, quote, riding cowgirl on him.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. We're off to the fox hunt.
Strangely, the guy who posted the video appears to change seats and sit next to them for a closer look.
Do you mind if I get closer?
What does not leave anything to the imagination. The identities of the couple are unknown, but that didn't stop Twitter users from having fun at their expense.
Where'd you copulate?
According to the Public Order Act of 1986, having sex in public areas such as in a bathroom is against the law. It could also...
It's also stinky.
Fall foul of public decency laws, as it could cause harassment, alarm, or distress to others, although clearly not the bloke who filmed this romp, they said.
Could you do it if you were in a hidden area of the Bell structure in Big Ben?
Maybe, if no one was there.
Yeah.
So according to the Association of Chief Police Officers, the Metropolitan Police Services is committed to making public sex environments safer.
We're currently investigating everything involved in this case.
For both users and those who happen upon them when they go about their daily business.
We don't stand for this.
It's not clear exactly what the punishment will be for the trained couple if they get caught. This is a terrible story, but I've never heard of this happening. A toddler has died after being trampled by a giraffe on a conservancy in South Africa while their mother is in the hospital in critical condition.
So they were both attacked by the giraffe?
Yeah. So the 16-month-old girl lived with her mother at the luxury Kuleni Game Park in South Africa. Police say details are sketchy, but they had opened an inquest to determine what happened. It is unusual for giraffes to attack people, and they're a common feature in game lodges in South Africa. The child was taken to a nearest doctor's where she died, the police lieutenant said. It's not clear where in the large game park, which features 14 lodges, the incident occurred. A manager at one of the luxury accommodations was reluctant to speak, saying that the matter was sensitive. On its website, the farm says that visitors can enjoy close encounters with animals while walking or cycling the numerous trails. Giraffes are the world's tallest mammals and are not usually aggressive. The females can, however, be aggressive while protecting their calf. In 2018, British scientist Sam Williams' wife and son were trampled by a female giraffe at Blyde Wildlife Estate in South Africa.
Did they both die?
That I don't know. No, it says they were treated at a private hospital and they recovered from that. But I'd never heard of that before.
I mean, they're wild animals, you know?
Yeah.
That's why I got rid of my giraffe.
All right, we got time for one more. This is also in the UK. A paintball marshal who shot a group of 9-year-olds in their private parts and verbally abused them during a children's party has been spared jail. Zach Ramage,
and he's a marshal,
was working at Mayhem Paintball when he subjected the 8 children to nightmarish experience in Woodlands last June.
Oh, my balls!
The 19-year-old who was meant to be in charge of the youngsters subjected them to a range of traumatic physical and verbal abuse, shooting them between the legs, on the feet, and in the neck, as well as swearing at them and calling them names. He was sentenced at Crown Court after being charged with 15 counts of assault by beating and 6 counts of cruelty to a child under 16. The teenager was given a community order of 18 months. One of the victim's mothers, who had arranged the party and doesn't want to be named, thinks that he deserves a custodial sentence. He said he terrorized them from the whole time, abusing them physically and verbally. My son came out and we knew something was wrong straight away. But it wasn't until a few days later that he totally opened up and told us everything.
That would have to hurt.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Shot in the nuts with a paintball?
She called police, and Mayhem Paintball was later told that Ramage had been fired. She praised the company for the swift action. Up until the sentencing, says the nightmare party has had a lasting effect.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. Those things hurt, man. They hurt pretty
Casey's
bad.
the expert.
Yeah. Naked.
Shot what? And we also shot you, 1,000 times?
Yeah, I mean, I
You
was
were above
pretty,
the love,
I
yeah.
was pretty padded, but when you're going to get shot with 1,000 paintballs, some are going to sneak through the pads. But yeah,
Yep.
it doesn't tickle.
That hurts. I can't believe it. 1,000 paintballs. That was crazy. All right. It's 10 o'clock.
Here it is, MMR's Yoo-Hoo Loot. Now, listen up. Here's your keyword.
All right, the word is score. S-C-O-R-E. And you have until 15 minutes after the hour to enter it. There are 3 ways to do it. Text the word SCORE to the special contest short code number, which is 45911, or you can enter it via the MMR app or at WMMR.com. And then one random entry is going to win $1,000 in our company-wide contest. Each winner will indeed get a call from Beasley. Make sure you answer your phone. The contest rules are available at WMMR.com, and it is sponsored by Horizon Services. So let me give you that word again. It is SCORE, S-C-O-R-E. The clock is ticking. Good luck to you. We're going to take a break. We'll come back in a moment. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Harder to get now, but I mean, so for right now, I think a lot of people to be turned on to the movies of the 70s, which you are a part of.
Sure.
The second golden era of Hollywood.
Yes.
You know, because these are great movies that sit there, and when kids or younger people discover them, the light goes on. It's like, oh.
Yes,
because
and the more timeless they are, the more they discover them, not only in a new unit of time, but as though it were they were back then.
Yeah.
And it had the same impact, because Grease and Saturday Night Fever seemingly, even Urban Cowboy, have the same impact on the new generation that it had on people then.
Absolutely.
For some reason.
Still as profound as ever. Yeah.
It seems it. Do you know?
Yeah, as I did musical theater growing up, and Grease is the one play that has always eluded me, and I always wanted to play Danny Zuko, and now
I wanted to play Sandy.
Yeah, as a 44-year-old man, that's never going to happen.
Oh,
yeah.
at that point,
you're Donald Zuko at that time.
I think you should do it. The Fox News group did today. They did a reenactment of Grease. They filmed it per shot.
Oh, really?
Yes. You guys could do that.
We could do that.
100%.
We've got our Sandy.
Absolutely.
We've got all our T-Birds here.
Sure. Frenchie.
I'm the lesser-known guy, Baldy. So
It doesn't matter. Just do the leather jacket. You're home.
I mean, we still, to this day, if somebody says, rockin' and rollin'.
And whatnot.
Of course.
It just finishes all the time.
Every single time.
Without
That's
fail.
hilarious.
Well, so just thank you for all of that stuff that you've given us
You're
over the years. It's a
stuff.
real pleasure actually looking at you in the flesh. It's, you have beautiful eyes. Sean.
Really?
Man, it didn't get uncomfortable to the very end.
No, are you kidding? I'm an actor. I love compliments. Please, more.
You're dressed really nice, too. What
Thank
a
you.
watch on you in the pocket square.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I've decided that we're each other's scenery, and that at some point, maybe not for yourself, but for another person, you have to be presentable.
Yeah.
So anyway,
You had a great quote on Good Morning America. You're making the round, so you were hitting those guys, and you said something I thought was a great outlook, and you said, life is art. Life is art, so appreciate it, enjoy it, and it's here for your entertainment.
Well, it is, because I think so many people don't view life as an art, but how you eat, who you spend time with, where you go, how you do it, how you dress is all part of an art if you choose to allow it to be an art. It's not just the quote unquote arts of music and dance and sports and it's actually how we live. What we're doing right now. Well, of course, this is an art because you're on radio performing.
Yeah.
But it's how we interact is also part of the art of life.
I love that. I love that outlook. All right. Well, if you want to see John definitely in a role
big departure,
unlike he's ever been in, then you want to see The Fanatic. It's a great movie and it's in theaters on August 30th. Wonderful to have you here, John. Thanks so much.
This was probably the most fun I've ever had at an interview situation. This has been awesome.
Thank you so much.
And loved your story, Nick, and I loved your story, Casey. Oh my God, two great stories.
I want to hug you so bad right now. Let's hear it. John Travolta, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, John. Ewan McGregor is in talks to reprise his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi in a series that centers around his Star Wars character for Disney Plus, according to the Hollywood Reporter.
It is Obi-Wan Kenobi, attorney at law. It's a departure.
That would be.
Yeah.
I think you should let him off with time served.
I'm giving you time served.
He's using the Jedi mind trick to sway the judge.
I think you should find him innocent.
I'm finding you innocent.
I object! There's no way that's legal! It's totally legal.
Oh, my God.
I think you need to go to sleep.
I got to go to sleep.
That would be...
That would be
brilliant.
I would totally
attorney at law.
This isn't the evidence you're looking for.
Yeah.
Even if you're stone cold guilty, give me a call.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the commercials. Yeah.
Demand Kenobi.
Yeah, and he's licensed in Missouri.
I am.
Yeah.
And even if I'm not, I'll convince them I am.
Yes, that's right.
I'm licensed in Missouri. He's licensed in Missouri.
Better call Obi.
Would he wear would he be a cowboy hat?
Space cowboy.
Lawyer?
Yeah.
Type? Oh, my God. Obi-Wan Kenobi, attorney at law.
Anytime, day or night, even on New Year's Day.
Coming soon to Disney Plus.
Or Life Day on the Wookiee home planet.
No, this could be good. I loved him as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I didn't care for the series of movies, but I thought he pulled it off wonderfully.
He was the thing that kept me watching, and he provided, I believe, the emotional core to those. The second and third movies I really do like. I think they're good. In just tone and in some way, the distinction between the Abrams movies, the artificiality of the first trilogy was almost too much. It was so CGI'd that it was hard to connect to.
Yeah,
but
everything on the screen was fake.
Yeah.
Except for the people, and even in that case, a lot of like Jar Jar obviously was fake. But there's a big stretch of time where we don't know what happens with Obi-Wan, and maybe they'll fill in that time.
Yeah,
with his law career,
law school,
with his,
passing the bar.
Mr. Kenobi, do you have anything to say?
John Houseman.
So anyhow, we'll see when that eventually
he gets his own
surfaces.
judge show.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
This bitch still got my TV. Give the TV back.
He's settling these small claims cases.
It's like Sam
This bitch still got my TV.
Oh my God. Oh.
I suggest you return the TV. Give me the TV.
All right, TMZ reports that Davey Chase. Now, I looked her up, and it says she started the ring. She was Samara. She's the psycho.
Yes.
The scary girl.
The girl in the well.
And by the way, turns out she's gorgeous.
Yes, she is.
She was arrested, and she was arrested on a drug possession charge and spent some time behind bars. Yeah.
But she escaped through the television, didn't she?
She did. She managed to get out
I
of
knew
there
we were
through the
going that
TV.
way.
But she's had some run-ins. Last year, she was locked up after cops pulled her over for joyriding in an allegedly stolen car.
She was locked up for 7 days.
Is the phone rings after 7 days or something like
In
that?
7 days. Yeah, that's when you die. You have 7 days to get your affairs in order before you're... 7 days.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie. 6.5.
7 business days.
Business days? So that means I get the weekend too?
Well, it's Monday's Labor Day, so about 8 days. All right, just stay there. I'm going to come over and kill you now.
Yeah, if you could be more specific, it might help in planning. So,
what if I go across the international date line?
Let me get back to you.
Coming up soon, we'll be addressing Halloween. But
Yes.
it's a favorite costume for Halloween parties and haunted houses.
Which is the one where you go to where they have a girl who really does the full, clicking and the whole body gesticulation.
Penhurst?
No, it's there's probably one there, but there's one, maybe it's there's
one
it's the one way out where we
know what
always
you're
get
talking
lost
about.
going to.
It's in Bucks County.
Yeah.
I know exactly the one you're talking
but the girl who does
Fear?
Nah.
Might be.
Valley of Fear.
It's out kind of in a woodsy area.
It's Grotto of Consternation is the name of it.
Hang on. Chrissy is on the line to tell us about that haunted attraction. And it is Valley of Fear, isn't it? So it's Valley of Fear?
It is Valley of Fear, and the girl who does play the one from The Ring, who was there for a long time, Liz, is just a phenomenal singer, too. I just wanted to let you guys know.
Really? Okay.
Oh, yeah, she's incredibly talented.
And she was good. It says you were moving along, she'd move along, and she never sang really, but she
didn't
I'm
sing.
the chick from The Ring, and I'm coming after you.
So her name is Liz?
Yes, Liz.
All right, cool. Thank you, Chrissy. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Cause in 7 days
See ya.
you're through. Chop-a-ta-ba.
All right.
It's not that scary.
I know, it's not scary when you sing it.
Yeah, right? Wouldn't it be a little less if it were a musical?
I live in a well and my life's kind of hell and I'm coming after you.
My life's kind of hell.
I'm the chick in the well and my life's kind of hell, but I'm a coming after you in 7 days.
7 days. In 7 days.
7 days.
7 days. Coming after you in 7 days.
Hey. The Ring, the musical.
Turn my mic on. You turned his mic off.
I didn't turn it off. I think you might have hit the button yourself there, dude.
Uh-oh.
No, there we go. I just hit that button.
All right.
Wait a second. What's going on?
Wait a
What
second.
just happened here?
Your mic will turn off in 7 seconds. Your mic will turn off in 7 seconds.
What? I don't have a mic.
So, what's going on with Lindsay Lohan and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia?
I'm sorry, I don't kiss and tell.
Mohammed bin Salman is his name.
Hey, Sababin bin Dalbin.
Rumors are sunny on MMR. Takes us a little California dreaming. We could use some of that California sunshine today. Not happening. Mild but cloudy today and tomorrow, and then the sun returning.
That's Pennsylvania sun.
On Thursday. Take a look at that Pennsylvania sun, folks. Enjoy. We are going to move right along, and we're going to give some stuff away as we have been doing through the course of the morning. But this time around, it's via the lesson question, and we have a 4-pack of tickets for All Elite Wrestling Friday, November 4th at Boardwalk Hall. The question that we will ask goes from early this morning. I said it was Bobby Knight's birthday today. And where was his most of ire directed? What was he all just pissed off about? 215-263-WMMR. Don't say basketball. That's not what it was. If you heard earlier this morning, then you would know the answer. What was Bobby Knight all pissed off about? Because Casey always asks, what was he so angry at?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot.
Yeah, 215-263-WMMR. If you heard it and you know the answer, please call us. And while you do that, we'll do this.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
All right, it's brought to you this morning by SEPTA. Day or night, SEPTA is the Philly way to go into, out of, and all around the city. Plan your trip at iseptaphilly.com. Steve, what's happening this morning?
Well, Madonna ignited a social media rift after claiming that if she hadn't published her sex book 30 years ago, Cardi B would not be able to sing about her WAP today. Cardi B responded saying in Madonna's case, WAP stands for wet ass pastrami.
Oh, my God.
In Bono's new memoir, he takes full responsibility for getting U2's album downloaded for free into every iTunes account on Earth. Bono says that while the stunt famously backfired, it did help iTunes subscribers finally figure out how to erase content.
Yeah.
And finally, New Line is confirming The Conjuring will be back in a 4th installment as the pool of Ed and Lorraine Warren ghost hunting stories grows more shallow. Episode 4 will involve the couple investigating why packages keep disappearing from their porch.
Ooh.
And that's your Hollywood track.
It's The Conjuring, by the way.
The Conjuring.
Yes. All right, we'll see if we can get an answer to the lesson question. Where is most of Bobby Knight's ire directed? 215-263-WMMR. Dave was our first caller, so we'll go to him. Hey there, Dave. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, bitches.
Good morning, bitch. All right, so where was most of Bobby Knight's ire directed? Say that again?
Oh, we lost him.
Oh.
Wait, I heard something.
Hold on a second. Dave,
I'm sorry. It's cryptocurrency.
Correct, Dave. Hang on the line. We're going to get your information. And we are going to set you up with a 4-pack of tickets for All Elite Wrestling Friday, November 4th at Boardwalk Hall. AEW Rampage returns to Atlantic City. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com and AEWTix.com.
By the way, Steve, just so you know, even though I've deleted it multiple times on my phone, U2's Songs of Innocence is still on my iTunes. I'm going to delete this one more time.
I always had a hard time getting rid of songs on iTunes. I couldn't figure out how to definitively get rid of it for good. Not that in particular, but any songs.
It used to be.
It's a process.
You want to talk about over-engineering things. It used to be so drag it into the trash. That's how you do. Now, if you have iCloud and you have it on multiple accounts, if you don't eliminate it from the cloud, it'll keep popping up on your phone.
What if it's on multiple playlists?
Huh, that's a good question.
Yeah, because I'll do
Use
playlists.
a hammer.
Okay, there you go. Let me get over here.
Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Brought to you by Liberty Safes of New Jersey. Hurry in now to Liberty Safes of New Jersey for big fall savings. You can visit Liberty Safes of New Jersey in Mount Laurel or Bordentown. You can find them on Facebook or go to libertysafesnj.com. So Greta Van Fleet postponed 2 more concerts in order to allow frontman Josh Kiszka more time to recover from the ruptured eardrum that he has. Yeah. The band has scrapped this week's shows in Hollywood, Florida, and Tampa, just days after they postponed shows in Raleigh and Greenville, South Carolina, and Jacksonville, Florida. He said in a video message to his fans, myself and the band and our entire team thought that perhaps we were hoping that my ear would be ready to fly, so to speak, and to get on stage and to perform and do all those things, which unfortunately, that's just not the case. As a result, we're going to need to reschedule the Hollywood show and the Tampa show. And I realize it's probably really hard timing for a lot of you and really, really frustrating. And it's extraordinarily frustrating and disappointing for all of us to have to do that. But they have to do it. You mentioned Bono. We were just talking about U2. He's revealed U2 has a new album ready for release that the band is going to hold off on issuing. The legendary singer spoke to the New York Times ahead of the November 1st publication of his memoir, Surrender, 40 Songs, One Story, and shed light on the new album, which will not be the band's next release. He explained, we have almost finished this album called Songs of Ascent, which we're not putting out. We're going to put out a rock and roll album. So we're not putting this out, but I'm telling you, it's awesome. He said, the feeling of the edges and my songwriting together is at a very high level. My phone here is packed with new songs. We were tempted to put them out of competition, but we felt that the material was so strong that it deserved time to make sure that people heard about them as well as heard them. When we're in the room together with Larry and Adam, it's great. I'm excited. There's about 20 of them finished. He characterized what he wants the next U2 album to sound like instead. He said, a noisy, uncompromising, unreasonable guitar album. Among that unreasonableness, it is likely that I will put the part of me, the anger that hasn't been managed, to good use. Bono went on, I would have years, not because they'll need it, right. And that's a great reason to go into the studio.
I would like to see them release an album and have a couple of hits. And, I think they're maybe in that legendary part of their career, where it's just they're there and they've got their body work and they issue new music, but it doesn't quite get the traction. I'd love to see them really.
Yeah, if they could hit at least one more time with some songs
It'd be great.
that resonate with the masses, that'd be great because they're one of my all-time favorite bands. And you're right, Steve. They just, at some point it happens to almost all bands. They go into even the Rolling Stones.
They're working on a new album.
They put out new albums, and yet you don't get that. Wow, this is the song. It's played everywhere on the radio.
But
they're still the Rolling Stones, and the fans still love it.
The problem is they're a victim of their own library.
Yeah,
like and that's a problem.
Yeah,
I always think about that scene in This Is 40 where Paul Rudd's character was talking to what's the name? I don't even remember the name
Graham
of the artist.
Parker.
Graham
Yeah.
Parker. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, you were expecting this record to sell.
He goes,
No.
They never sell.
They never sell.
No, they don't sell.
Yeah.
That clarification is just so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, they don't sell. This is kind of fun. The editors of Loudwire have ranked the top 30 hair metal albums. So it's a new list. I guess they do this from time to time. But they have the top 30 here on the list.
I want to go through all 30.
You want to go through all 30?
I'd like to hear them, yeah.
Okay, so we'll start with, why does it start with number 29?
So that you'll read the rest of the article.
I guess so. All right. Anyhow.
I want to find out what that one is.
Faster Pussycat, self-titled. Y&T, Mean Streak. Badlands, self-titled. Slaughter, Stick It To You. Number 25 is Razor Maid, First Cut. And I'll be honest, I've never heard of Razor Maid before.
Neither have I.
Then you have Poison, Open Up and Say Ah. Enough's Enough, Strength. Steel Panther is on here.
Yeah.
And definitely has to be, the most current one in 2009, Feel the Steel.
That's great.
Everything else is from the 1980s on this list.
That's awesome.
And Steel Panther made it on there. That might be a reason to talk to those guys. Twisted Sister, Under the Blade. David Lee Roth, Eat 'Em and Smile. Man, did I love that album.
That's a huge album.
Great White, Twice Shy. Warrant, Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinking Rich. Kicks with Blow My Fuse. Tesla, Mechanical Resonance. Number 15 is Winger, self-titled. Number 14, Tooth and Nail from Dokken. Number 13, Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood. Then you have White Snake, self-titled. Quiet Riot with Mental Health. In the top 10, you have Poison, Look What the Cat Dragged In. Def Leppard, Pyromania. That was a juggernaut.
Yeah.
Number 8 is Wasp, self-titled album.
That's a good list.
7 is Cinderella Night Songs. Number 6, Twisted Sister with Stay Hungry. Number 5, Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. There's a big one. Then you have Skid Row, self-titled at number 4. Number 3 is Rat, Out of the Cellar. Number 2, Def Leppard and Hysteria.
Yeah.
And number 1 of the top 30 hair metal band albums, Shout at the Devil from Motley Crue. That is a great list.
That's a comprehensive list. I'd stand by. And the funny thing is, so much of this music, like, I would never put these albums. I don't think I've ever owned one of these albums. However, there's songs on them that I really enjoy.
I have a full-on glam metal playlist.
Do you? Yeah.
And I never listen to it.
Yeah.
And I it's fun music. You've just got to be
in the mood,
in the absolute right mode to put that on and dive into it. And I should,
because I completely enjoy it.
I'll probably have a blast if I listen to it, but I need to do that. But I've got all of these bands on there, except for Razor Maid, which I'm not familiar with.
Never heard of Razor Maid.
Yeah. All right, and then one last thing. Marissa passed over this press release. There's a show coming to Atlantic City called the Adjacent Music Festival, and Marissa called it. Blink-182 is going to be headlining.
Yeah.
Along with Paramore. It's going to be at on the Atlantic City beach. It will be over Memorial Day weekend, by the way.
Okay.
Saturday, May 27th and Sunday, May 28th. So maybe we'll get some rockers that come down a little bit early.
Come on.
And come down to Keenan's and say hi to us. You never know. So besides Blink-182 and Paramore, there's some bands we know, a ton of bands I don't know. But let me give you the ones that I recognize. Coheed and Cambria.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Those guys love us.
Jimmy Eat World. Wheatus is going to be on.
Wheatus.
Man,
Very
Teenage
cool.
Dirtbag made a real comeback recently.
Love that.
The Linda Lindas, and then, like I said, a whole bunch of bands I've never heard of. But by far, my favorite name of all the bands on the list, Mannequin Pussy.
Mannequin Pussy
is going to be.
Seriously?
Phantom Planet's on the bill as well.
Oh, really?
Yes, we can get our buddy in.
Oh, yeah. The actor, God, what's
Jason
his name?
Schwartzman.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is in that band. Yeah, that would be awesome. Tickets, by the way, for the show go on sale Friday.
When's Mannequin Pussy playing?
And Mannequin Pussy will be, hang on a second, loyal fan base in the Northeast region. So they're a local band, I guess.
Yeah, they're opening for Shoe Tree Dildos.
Yes. May I?
Yes.
Okay. Give me a second. I'm writing that down.
We're going to have to sell
Is it Shoe Tree Dildos or the Shoe Tree Dildos?
Your discretion. You were in a band, actually, so.
Shoe Tree. I like it without the.
Okay.
Shoe Tree Dildos. Did you hear that, Case?
No, what's going on
The
here?
new band, Shoe Tree Dildos.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An actual band's name, though, is Mannequin Pussy.
They have a lot of merchandise if you want any T-shirts, Preston.
Really?
Yeah.
Hang on.
I like
To
that.
see what those look. Do they look pretty cool?
So yeah, some of them do. Yeah.
I mean,
Any formal wear?
Just name alone.
This is my Mannequin Pussy tuxedo.
I've got to. I might have to get one of those.
You know, also on that bill are the front bottoms, so they should probably jam together.
That's kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
Front bottoms and
Front
Mannequin Pussy.
Yeah.
There's some local bands on there. We need to get Froggy on this bill.
Oh, my God, yeah.
They'd be fantastic. They'd fit right in. All right. Anyhow, there you go. That's the last item up for bids on
The new Price is
music
Right.
news this morning. All right. Let's take. You know what? Hang on, real quick. I have a shout out that's been sitting here for a while.
No problem.
It was from supposed to be on the 11th. It says, "Hey, me and my dad, Mark, are daily listeners, and we're always texting each other during the show. My dad is the Florida man that took a road trip to come see me in North Wildwood, and MMR covered his whereabouts during the A to Z countdown. And I wanted to request a shout out for his birthday, October 11th. He deserves a big, juicy one. That's from Ashley Gorsop, and she says Santa's got to go. So
All
a
right.
quick chart, please." And then let's see. This one was for Friday the 19th. This is from Gary Cutts. And, oh, no, I'm sorry. August 21st. Oops, August 21st. If you could do it on Friday the 19th or Monday the 22nd, August.
Oh, my God.
That would be awesome. He's a huge Preston and Steve fan.
Nailed it.
You met him once this past February at the Philly airport waiting for a flight to Florida. You may remember him. He collected a large amount of food last year's Camp Out for Hunger. He's the one that made the custom wooden Christmas ornaments. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
He's great.
All right, there's a chart out. There you go. That's for Jack Cutts.
At what point do you does it go from being late to early?
You know what?
yeah.
6 month mark.
Yeah, that might be really super early. All right, let's take a break. Come back. We will wrap it up when we return. Letter of the day for the Word of the Week prize. Stay there.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
That's Crisco Girl.
It's them eating the skin off of the chicken. So Caroline, my daughter, was wearing a shirt and it was too long. She's like, I'm tucking this in because I don't want to look like a Visco girl. Not that meaning that she doesn't want to be one, but it looks like you're not wearing pants.
Not wearing pants. Okay,
yeah,
I've seen
you're
this.
not wearing shorts.
I've seen this. I've seen the looking like you're not wearing shorts.
Where did that look? That look has been around before.
No, but I've recently seen it pick up, and I'm like, look at these kids. Like their shorts are so short that they look like they're not wearing any.
My dad was a Visco girl before anyone knew. He just wear a long coat and shorts.
Yeah.
You also might have known them as flashers.
Yeah.
Case, is your daughter into it? Or is she Visco? What do you say? Help me out here, guys.
She's a Delco girl.
She's a Delco girl, Kath. You know what? I don't know.
Is she
I don't know.
Visco?
I don't know how new this scene is, but here's the deal. My kids go to Catholic schools, so they all wear the same thing at school. And then we just got done in the summer, and we were down the beach all the time.
I saw a text that this is supposed to be camera sound.
Oh my God! I love it. I want to be a
You
Visco
do?
boy.
I always wore big clothes. There was a period of time where we looked like we were 900 pounds only because we wore oversized
Baggy
clothes.
stuff. Baggy stuff.
Who decided all this stuff? All these various things together make this. You know what I mean?
A Visco girl.
Yeah.
I think it's just a style. I keep relating it to the hippie. It's just
It
the
is,
hippie
but
like
somebody
the.
had to put these pieces together. They don't necessarily, automatically go together.
The thing, Preston, that you're reacting to, and I think I agree, is because like things like this would happen over the course of a little while, and like in school, going to school, you start to see people adopting something, and there'd be a movie, or there'd be something that they would, or a musician or somebody they're responding to. But this seems to, for a lot of the people are saying from 0 to 60.
I know.
Because of social media.
It's like the, now this isn't a fashion thing, but it was an accessory people had. Remember the fidget spinners?
Oh, yeah.
Like that took off in 10 minutes.
Boom.
And everybody had them, and then they were gone.
Look at this. Visco Girl Starter Pack.
You can buy this
$150
for $150.
Should we get it, guys?
It says Giant Visco Starter Pack.
Preston, we need to be Crisco boys.
Scrunchies, Crocs.
I like those tie-dye Crocs.
What else? There's the shorts, and oversized shirt. What do you see?
No, Kathy liking the Crocs now.
I like the tie-dye
Just
Crocs.
like 10 minutes ago, she's like, not for adults.
Oh, well, no, I wouldn't buy them and wear them.
But Steve, it's funny because you were talking about how these things, how they can happen so quickly. When people are getting back to school this week and they come home demanding the scrunchies, that means that like this thing is taken off and they want to be like all the other people who are in the group.
That's funny.
Some people are texting in, and I've gotten some emails that there is a phrase that goes along, not just the SK one, I oop.
I oop.
I don't know what that means.
There's another one, Nick.
That's
no, no, that's mine. You can't have that. I oop. But I oop is a thing.
Can we make that part of the Crisco boys?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's allowed. But
all right, how's I oop spelled?
I oop is I, the letter I, and then OOP.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Again, it says I oop. Here, there's I oop can be used as a reaction to express sudden surprise or shock over an unexpected situation. That's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
For example, you can say it if someone calls someone else out on social media in a mic drop moment, as in I oop. Okay.
Because it says here, honestly, who says mic drop anymore? That's old now.
That's so old.
Nick, you know that I love you, but I do find it a little creepy that you know the most about this.
Well,
anyone
he
on
looked
the
it up
show.
on BuzzFeed. Research, yeah, no, I stalk 12-year-olds.
Yeah, do you want to hear it?
Interesting. Oh, yeah,
Jasmine
thanks.
Masters, I think.
All right.
I crashed in my back seat for a couple of hours, and
All right, okay.
And that's funny.
And, and hence the beginning of a new phrase.
Wow,
bizarre.
Sitting on your balls created a thing.
Where some things come from
and yet
how they take off.
We can't get to take off.
Nobody can pronounce it.
And it's very hard.
That's the only thing.
I oop is much easier. All
Although I got a text from somebody who says I'm 27 and I just found out I'm a Visco girl.
it's like going and looking at your X-rays.
Yeah.
I have some bad news. You're a Visco girl.
What would be some positive workplace habits? It doesn't give any examples here at all, so I'm wondering what we could do. Maybe some yoga or something like that.
Well, let's assess.
Maybe like clean up your area.
Are you talking to me?
No, I was just saying that's like a positive workplace.
I just
put
knew.
all my stuff in there. It's a mess.
This morning, Kathy goes to me. She goes, "Oh, your area looks really nice, Steve." And Preston goes, "Oh, what about mine?"
Mine's just an absolute. It looks like an atom bomb went off.
It actually looks worse than the old office.
I haven't done anything. I just dragged all my crap in here.
Listen, I was
and
not
set
talking to you.
And
I was just saying in
Steve,
general.
your area looks very nice.
It's pretty mean.
Steve came in over the weekend and worked on his.
I did. Whereas Preston just poured it his
I
over.
just brought my
Didn't have
stuff over
chance.
and left it. I'm going to work on it today.
I was just complimenting Steve because the shelving in the new office was made specifically for his guys. Like,
Yes, my Batman.
It looks so nice. I wasn't saying it.
Kathy did it in the way where you're talking to one person, but your mouth is actually towards someone else who you want to make sure they hear that particular statement.
Your part of the office looks much better. The cleanly, orderly way you've approached your workspace is impressive.
I swear, I was not saying it because yours was messy.
It did feel good to purge, like
Oh my God, I
getting
love
rid of a
it.
lot of stuff. And I found files from like 2008, 2009 when we moved into that office.
I found that puppy I never gave Marissa.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Listen, to make me realize how long we've been in that office, I've had some stuff hanging in my area on the wall space there, notes that my sons wrote to me.
Oh, yeah.
in little kid
That's
handwriting
cute.
of Daddy, I love you. I hope you have a nice day. I mean, that's how long we've been in that room. We've been in that room for 15 years.
And it does mean a lot because we started when we came here. First off, so that was not initially our first.
I guess
office
it hasn't been
was,
15 years.
Yeah.
It's been at least a dozen years,
right?
though, but
because we're in it was Kathy, you, and I were in that small office that used to be a closet. Yeah.
So here's another thing that you can do to help get past the post-holiday vacation back to work blues. Don't dwell.
Okay. Don't dwell.
Yeah. Don't feel sorry.
Lou, I couldn't help but noticing that you're dwelling. Is it that obvious?
Doesn't dwell mean to just live, just to, just to
sort of
stay in one
ruminate,
place?
Hanging out.
Don't dwell. Don't feel sorry for yourself, it says. Start some new office habits. This is how to beat the post-holiday...
Should you clean your office area?
The post-holiday vacation back to work blues. Clean your damn office. All right, how about this one? This is just this. Here you go. This is all it says you need to do. Reflect.
Wait, that's too close to dwelling.
Seriously.
Where's the delineation between reflecting and dwelling?
You're not supposed to dwell. However, you should reflect.
God damn it, Earl, I was reflecting.
Looked like you were dwelling.
Well, I wasn't.
And what I've done on 93.3 WMMR.
What did you do?
Well, we have this. What'd you do? We have this. There you go. Thank you. 93.3 WMMR. Now we have this system of these sound elements, these music beds, these things that we play, and the Daily Letter intro and all that stuff. And it's all digital. And if you don't click a certain button, they will automatically trigger.
Yes.
And so that's what happened in that particular moment. So I like to trigger them manually. I like to. When you hear a segue from thing to thing, element to element, that's me pushing a button. I'm doing that. When Nick gets his little sign off on his live commercial and the next commercial starts, that's me. I did that.
You want to have a little bit more control. Yeah. That's the way you roll. It's the way I roll.
I'm a controlling bastard. That's what I am. But today has been fun. I have enjoyed it thoroughly. We would like to thank our one and only guest who was on the program this morning, Sarah Kalin.
Yeah.
She is a forensic investigator, and she has podcasts and live events and stuff like that. So we dove into some various cases and so on. And she has a special live event coming up called All Horrors Eve. And on the 28th, she's going to be at River Horse Brewing, which is in the Princeton area. And you can go to KalinInvestigations.com and get yourself a ticket for the event.
Sounds like a really good time. Or, it's fascinating, this stuff. You can't help it.
Yeah, usually some cocktails and chit-chat about these cases, and you can ask her questions and stuff. It's really cool. So she was very nice this morning. So wonderful to have her on. I guess we'll need to do the letter of the day now. We get on that? Yeah. All right, here we go.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
The Preston and Steve Show, as the plot thickens, is brought to you today by the letter.
H as in harvest.
All right.
Harvest.
And it is the harvest time of year, yes. We're going to harvest up some booze and get it to you because we got a stateside vodka prize pack, including a $100 gift certificate to the distillery, 2 bottles of their 1.75-liter stateside vodka, a case of stateside vodka soda variety pack, and a case of their Surfside iced tea plus vodka. And we will give that away on Friday. So keep track of the letters, and hopefully you will win. How you doing today, man?
Excellent.
Yeah. It's been this weird-looking day. Now, we haven't been outside, since before the sun came up this morning.
Feeding the chickens.
But I believe it's pretty mild out, right?
It's got a touch of a
little hint of cool,
a hint of nip. Of cool, a hint of a nip.
I like that.
Yeah, a nip in the air, as they say.
Gotcha.
But it's not bad.
All right, fair enough. Right. Good day to spend with you here on the radio.
It most certainly is, because you'll have Yoo-Hoo loot opportunities at noon and 3, and also workforce blocks of Yes for John Anderson's birthday, a Red Hot Chili Peppers for Chad Smith's birthday, and a block of Social D, which will be fun.
Ooh, you're a big Social D fan.
I do like them,
I've heard you talk about them quite a bit. Nice. All right, so we need to give away our Tattoos Day prize. And we would like to congratulate Mr. Chris Maddox of Pennsville, New Jersey. Chris is going to get some fresh ink and some awesome stuff. We're giving him a $350 gift certificate for Floating World Tattoo and Piercing. And you can find them at 1729 South Street in Philadelphia. For artwork samples, visit floatingworldtattoos.com or check them out on Instagram at Floating World Tattoos. I'll take this moment to thank our sponsors as well. The Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by Dunkin'. And the Preston and Steve Show runs on Dunkin'. Also brought to you by Acme Markets, fresh foods, local flavors, and by Sunoco. With the new Sunoco Go Rewards app, when you fuel, you save. Download the app to start saving. Tomorrow, a Wednesday, Fox Good Day, we'll do that.
Nice.
Secret Text Word, we'll have that. And we have a couple of Phillies guests on tomorrow. We're going to have, and he was such a great guest last time, Charlie Manuel will be joining us on the program once again. And to keep the streak alive, our friend John Brazier will be here.
It's been working.
Director of Fun and Games for the Phillies. So that's it. We're done. Rage on. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow, friend. Bye-bye.